Have you ever danced with the devil? Took a glance at a rebel, had a chance to advance. You are not on my level. You are not my equal. I can pose another sequel. Those that do oppose, I was exposed and leave you see through with the spines in my eye. Recognize me as a legend. Refuse to cry and die so I may never get to heaven. I've been yelling and rebelling since the days I was a youngin'. Been a long time coming, I'll be damned if I'm running. Original individual, so I'm living like a criminal. Give it to you fools direct, no need to be subliminal. Say a nigga name quick but never to be famous. Put this thing up to your brain and I'll leave you brainless. Got you suckers, ducking knuckles, watch you buckle as I chuckle. I can see right through your heart, you don't wanna start no trouble. Thought I couldn't get it crunk, well hell I beg to differ. I'm far from a punk and ain't your ordinary nigga. Fake niggas, I'm back, the game about to change. I ain't playing games, I'ma put it in your brains. Fake niggas, I'm back, the game about to change. I ain't playing games, I'ma put it in your veins. I'ma break them all, let me break them all, break them off. I don't care if you ain't scared, be prepared to take a loss. I'ma break them all, let me break them all, break them off. I don't care if you ain't scared, be prepared to take a loss. I can see me leading the legion, screaming in the evening. I had the kids pleading, why is daddy not breathing? See, daddy was a heathen, daddy was deceiving. Told him last season, all I'm needing is a reason. I have no sympathy, consider me a lethal weapon. Remain a mystery consistently, I keep them guessing. With the world on my shoulder, my heart turns colder. Life ain't what you think, before you blink it could be over. Ready for revolution, retribution's a solution. There is no forgiveness as you witness evolution. The world revolves as I evolve, take a stroll through my soul. I don't plan to ever pause or take it easy on my foes. Break them off with a pencil in a simple instrumental. Situation detrimental if you disrespect my mental. This is how I really live, I hope I never have to kill. I represent self-defense, if I have to then I will. Niggas, I'm back, the game about to change. I ain't playing games, I'ma put it in your brains. Fake niggas, I'm back, the game about to change. I ain't playing games, I'ma put it in your veins. I'ma break them all, let me break them all, break them off. I don't care if you ain't scared, be prepared to take a loss. I'ma break them all, let me break them all, break them off. I don't care if you ain't scared, be prepared to take a loss. I don't wanna beef with anybody, but I'm far from afraid. I'm a grown ass man, ain't no games being played. Better shut your friggin' mouth before I kick up in your house. Forensics at your residence, no evidence to figure out. Wasn't seen, had to see, no if or answer in between. This is what I do to you or anyone who intervenes. I refuse to be a prey, not tomorrow, not today. I'ma be a predator. Hell, there is no other way. Bust your brain if I must. Leave you laying in the dust. Only God understands. That's the only man I trust. The rest of y'all die slow, die with your eyes closed. Talk behind my back, but you can't look me in my eyes though. That's what you call a coward. You can find me down in Broward. Tell me where you want it at, I'll be there in a half an hour. Diamond chains, take them off. Haters, I'ma shake them off. I only deal with the real. All of the rest, I break them off. Niggas, I'm back. The game about to change. I ain't playing games, I'ma put it in your brains. Fake niggas, I'm back, the game about to change. I ain't playing games, I'ma put it in your veins. I'ma break them all, let me break them all, break them off. I don't care if you ain't scared, be prepared to take a loss. I'ma break them all, let me break them all, break them off. I don't care if you ain't scared, be prepared to take a loss.
Charlotte Flair versus challenger Rhea Ripley. And this outcome could only go one way, and that's Rhea walking out with that belt.
Or Charlotte Flair could pull a Ric Flair 1988. And that would be amazing.
She's just like her dad, bro.
Bro, I would be pissed, man. Rhea Ripley has been one of the best book characters all year, and starting from like last year when she joined the Judgment Day. But man, that would be a travesty if Charlotte wins this match.
They're gonna have Rhea Ripley looking like Lex Luger. Just wondering what the hell happened.
Man,
that would be something. My God, I mean, I would like to see her win it. I wouldn't lie about that one.
Hey, Doug, who you got in this match?
I'm gonna say Rhea.
You got Rhea. I got Sheamus has to win this, man. I mean, if Sheamus doesn't win this, then what are we doing?
We're making Gunther legendary. That's what we're doing.
Well, Gunther needs awesome. to win. No, Gunther needs to drop that belt and then face. Well, we'll get to that match later, but Gunther needs to go for a main title now. Gunther is awesome. The only reason Drew is added in this is to take that fall. I think it's so he could take that pin, and I'd see Sheamus fulfilling his dream of winning the one belt that he's never won, which I can't believe that. And that's the IC title. So who you got, Bones?
So I feel like Sheamus has to win. Like, this is his story. I don't think they need to move on to something bigger and better.
See, me and you thinking the same thing, but if somebody's gonna shit all over it, just you wait and see. Who you got?
There you go.
Who you got, Doug?
Well, on this one, I feel like Sheamus should win it, but I feel like Drew's gonna win it.
You got the Usos against Sami Zayn and KO. So who you got winning this match, first of all?
Well, it better be Sami, because if Sami don't win, we burn the place down.
So in the final match of WrestleMania 39, we have the main event. You have the God of Wrestling, Roman Reigns, versus the prodigal son, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes has to win. If Cody doesn't win this match, I feel like they just wasted everything. It's completely a waste.
No, Cody's going to lose. And it's not a waste if he does lose. Because in wrestling, let's think back to like the 80s and whatnot. You know, there's no trials and tribulations and ups and downs, and it's just a one note. Like Hulk Hogan won the title and he just went through all those fat guys. And it's like Goldberg wins and he just goes through all these people. And then when they finally lose, they're like, well, why did he lose? Like, really? I mean, Roman's going to beat him, because it just seems too cliche for Cody to win right now. And I don't feel like, I've been telling you this before, I don't feel like it's right for Cody right now. I don't feel like he needs to win right now. Somebody needs to beat Roman Reigns, but who said it had to be Cody Rhodes, and who said it had to be right now at WrestleMania? And everybody is leaning heavy that Cody's going to win. This would be a perfect time to make him not lose. If we could be okay with friggin' Sami Zayn not winning, I think we'll be okay if Cody Rhodes goes.
Get out of here with that. Don't even put them two in the same class.
It's a big drama match.
Unbiased person, brand new to the panel, somebody who we this is our first time meeting him. Doug, what do you think about the build for this match?
The build? WWE's been pushing Cody a lot with the videos. With a lot of videos. That's why I'm thinking Cody's going to take it. He's going to do it for his dad.
I want it to be clean 1, 2, 3 in the middle. Like, I don't want the Usos to get involved. I don't want Solo to get involved. I want it to be clean in the middle of the ring.
And so I'm hoping, for integrity purposes, not because I love Roman Reigns. I'm just hoping.
Integrity?
integrity, because it don't look good. It's not a good look. This guy had a legit injury. Then they forced him to win the Royal Rumble. And boom, just like that, he's going to be champion just like that so quickly. Let him go through some stuff.
And no, man, split the belts and just do it. Let Roman go off on vacation and come back all pissed off, and he could come beat Cody up after the fact. No, I am not going to let you. I ain't gonna let you do this to me tonight, man. Because
it's gonna be done.
It's gonna be crazy. You're talking crazy because for some reason you sit here and you say, "Oh, because he had 3 matches and he got hurt and he came back and won the Royal Rumble." Oh, you mean like John Cena did when he came back from the pec tear? Oh, you mean
I don't like that either. I didn't like that either.
You mean how Triple H did when he came from the quad injury?
I didn't like that either. That's another reason why I wouldn't want that.
Like it's never been done, though. That's what I'm saying. You make it seem like this is a new thing.
I can drive my car with my feet. That don't mean I need to be doing it. It don't need to happen because it could be done. And as a matter of fact, that's what we're trying to do is break the ridiculousness of wrestling. These guys are coming back from major injuries. Like if you look at like Klay Thompson, he got injured, major injury. That happened in 2019. It's 2023. He's still stumbling around.
This is a basketball player with knee injury. Come on, man. You can't do that. You can't do that.
It's still a major injury, and it affects your performance. So how in this in this pre-scripted world, it don't make sense to have these guys come back from injury and then all of a sudden Superman and able to win the title, no big deal. It don't make sense. Let him go through some drama.
Hey,
what's up, Bones?
So, hey, I hate to say this, but I'm gonna have to agree with Venkat, man. I think Roman Reigns should retain the belt because you know what? To elaborate on what Venkat's saying. Overall, I agree with what he's saying, but to elaborate, Cody Rhodes should not have been number 30 in the Royal Rumble. He
shouldn't have.
If you would have put Cody Rhodes at number 1 with Gunther at number 2, and then they would have survived, then it would have been more believable. I'd have been more accepting of it. But Cody ain't having the trials and tribulations. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like he didn't go through enough pain and enough hurt and suffering yet. You know, it's like like for example, wait. If Sami Zayn would have won at Elimination Chamber, it would have been a lot of excitement because it was like a journey. You know what I'm saying? Like we suffered with Sami Zayn. You feel me? So it'll be different. But with Cody, we're not suffering with Cody. We're not hurting with Cody. We don't feel Cody's pain the way we felt with Sami Zayn. You know what I'm saying? Because before I was like you, I was 100% sure that Cody was gonna win. But once I realized how close he is to 1,000 days, I think that Roman gonna win. And I mean, personally, I wouldn't be upset if Cody won. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think they're gonna pull the trigger though. And I really think that Cody should have just started at number 1 in the Royal Rumble, and that would have been good. Or you could have did Cody at number 1 and Seth at number 2. You know what I'm saying?
The more that I think about that, I concede to Venkat on that. Yeah, him coming in at 30 was a terrible idea. So there you go. I concede to you on that one. But Doug, who you got in this match?
I'm still going with Cody.
So Thinking Black says, can we get a ranking prediction 1 to 10 for the event as a whole? For me, the build has not been good, but I think when it's all said and done, we may be looking at a solid 8.5, 9 easily.
That's a high mark, man.
I think the match. That's what I'm saying. I think out of the 14 matches, I think 10 of them are going to just slap so hard that it's.
Wait. That would mean it'll be better than Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
that's what. It's not going to be better than Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I'm saying with these 14 matches, there's no the Bills build aside. The Bills have been terrible. We got that. I agree. You got me on that. I agree. But I'm saying the performers are not going to want to go out there and put on a shitty show, especially that NXT is earlier in the day. And when NXT notoriously does better than the main roster. I say a strong 8.5. I say 8.5.
I'm going to say a 7.
I know Vancat going to say about a 3. Go ahead. Just confirm it.
They'll be lucky if they get hit They'll be lucky if this event hit 5.
Oh, here, what? What you got, Doug?
Because my rating for the Royal Rumble, my rating for
What's up, Straight Talk Society? This is your host, Trevor, and we are back with another episode of Wrestling with Reality. Hold on real quick. Let me bring my co-host up. What's going on, Bancat?
What's up?
So what you guys just saw, because somebody probably was saying like, damn, they're doing the wrong show. No, what you just saw was a clip of our predictions that we made before the show, just to give everybody a refresher of, you know, what we thought and everything like that. So that's why that was played. We got a lot of stuff to go through, a lot. And Bones will be up soon. Bones will be around about 9 o'clock because he had to work late. But he wanted us to just keep going with the show. Whoever else wants to hit the panel, you can. So here's the deal, because we have so many like visuals and things like that. One, I'm going to turn my camera off. And two, I'm just going to drop the link in the chat now, only because I'm not going to be able to watch the chat as I normally would, just because you'll see we got a bunch of pictures that we got to put up. So let me first drop this link in the chat. What's up, Tequila? You guys make sure, those of you that's watching, to hit that like button, share, subscribe, like the Facebook page at the Straight Talk Society. Oh God, Michael's saying if I heard the news. Oh jeez. What news, Venkat?
I have no idea. I just saw that myself. He said you heard the news. I don't know what that could be.
Oh man.
Triple H is out of power.
I can't.
I mean, you just knew that was coming next.
Wait a minute. Is that what you're saying, or that's what you're guessing?
That's what he said on the chat. He said Triple H is out of power.
You got to be kidding me.
Vince has officially taken over.
Well, no, we knew Vince. Okay, so Triple H hasn't been fired. We knew Vince was taking over. We knew that. That was a given. Everybody knew that. So. Yeah. Okay. I thought.
But the thing though is like that interview that Vince McMahon had with that Ari guy from UFC. I mean, it really sounded like even when I was watching it yesterday, I felt like, oh my God, maybe Triple H might be in jeopardy here. And you know, I was looking at someone made a YouTube video saying
yes,
the
he's saying
9 months with Triple.
Not fired. No, he's saying not fired, but neutered. So I'm
not saying exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Not he's fired, but yeah, definitely neutered for real. I mean, I'm sure like there's gonna be some power struggles back there. But there's a YouTuber that made a video, and I kind of agree with the title. He was like saying that hold on, not fired, but yeah, he was just pretty much saying that the 9 months with Triple H was a dream, and that dream is over. Pretty much, that's what he was saying. I got to check that video out, but I mean, when you look at it, it was 9 months. We couldn't even get a full year. And but he must have went crazy and said, "I got to get back."
But we were talking about it earlier though, before the show, where you were saying, like, you know, how you genuinely enjoyed, you know, this Triple H run. I mean, and what's funny, last night Triple H opened Raw, but because I had the volume down, I don't know what he said. So I guess I got to go back and watch the beginning of Raw, because he was, you know, he was teary-eyed and stuff. Maybe he could have been giving his goodbye speech, like, indirectly. I mean,
right.
He stands to make $5 million in this Endeavor deal, though. So I'm not crying for him on that regard. But if he's gonna be gone anytime soon, the biggest thing I'm worried about is all the talent that he brought back. And and what would be their what's going to be their future? Like it's I mean, because that Raw last night was horrendous. I mean, if you guys go back and listen to last night's show, I mean, I shit on that Raw 10 ways to Sunday last night. It got the Raw was so bad we ended up talking about gun control. Like it was awful, and it had Vince McMahon's fingerprints. Firings are coming. Yeah, we know that. It had Vince's fingerprints all over it, man. This is ridiculous, man. That like you would be such a narcissist that you'd see your company increase in house shows, increase in international revenue, increase in merchandise. Employee morale is at its highest, and people are genuinely talking about your product. Like it's crazy.
No, I mean everything you're saying is correct and true, but that's the exact reason why is that it makes his legacy look very bad. That in such a short period of time, in less than 1 year, Triple H was able to turn that around and make a lot of good things happen. I mean, we all saying, you know, this is the most interest in years, in decades that people have. People are genuinely excited to see stuff on WWE. Even me myself. Which I could care less about WWE after 2006, and you know, even me, I have to admit that there's some legit good stuff going on here. So it's just amazing that a guy came in less than a year and kind of like really turned things around from a financial perspective, and from a product for what you're getting in the ring, what you're getting on the mic. And the sales revenue is ridiculous. They're making money like crazy.
I think they made like 22 million at this WrestleMania.
that all makes Vince McMahon just think, my God, he is really messing up my. I mean, you know, is he really like that for real? Like, you know, when the NWO, when he was bringing the NWO back, if anybody's gonna kill,
you got to make something. You got to do that. You got to use that. You got to make something that does that, because I think this guy's legit trying to kill his creation, get his $9 billion, and ride off into the sunset. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like all the years I've defended this guy, and you got, you know, like a lot of it was tongue in cheek, but I legit felt that he cared about the fans, and you can clearly see he doesn't, because what's stopping him from just saying, you know what, this guy has my business booming right now. Let me just sit back. And then if he messes something up, then I'll give some input or something like that. Like this guy fired Braun, fired Bray, fired Hit Row, fired Tegan Knox. What about all these people that he fired that have been brought back? Man, I hope their contracts are locked, man, just in case if he wants to get rid of them again, he still has to pay that money, because I mean, this shit is about to get bad. You just come off of the best WrestleMania in forever. I can't. We had this conversation earlier. I think the WrestleMania was the best WrestleMania I've seen.
Probably since 20.
I want to say WrestleMania 21. 21 was 21 was probably the last time one was that good. 21, and we just had 39.
Yeah.
So what's the big common denominator? Vince was booking all them other ones. I mean, I don't know, man. Let's I mean, Cody, I don't know the length of Cody's contract, but all right, let's
some I saw online that some AEW people were commenting, like people that work with AEW that are friends with Cody. Some were saying, well, the match was still good, but like others were like kind of upset that Cody didn't win.
Well, I see. Well, we'll get to that. So let's do this, because I mean, shit. you can see my whole demeanor changed already. I came on here ready to talk about this show, and now my whole demeanor has changed. So what we're doing right now, we're gonna review WrestleMania, and the reason why we didn't do it last night was because news of the sale broke, and we wanted to, do a live watch along with the Raw after Mania that was supposed to be good, but it was nothing but dog shit. So, so all right. So let's and like I say, Bones said he'll be around about 9:00. So I put the link in the chat. You guys want to hop on because I won't really be monitoring the chat too much because I got to man the controls over here. All right, so let's get started. So the first, all right, and I got a bunch of notes, man. So what I wanted to do, and I put the APB out to Doug. I sent him a message. He hasn't read it yet, so I don't know. Hopefully Doug will be able to jump on. And whoever else wants to jump on, but regardless, MD said he was going to come through yesterday, but who knows what they're doing. Regardless, though, we're going to get this show on the road. So the first thing I said when I saw WrestleMania, and this is at the top of my notes, I said, "Holy shit, look at that set." What do you think about the WrestleMania set?
Well, it was nice. I like the SoFi stadium is great. I mean, last year when Snoop Dogg and Dre and them were in there, that stadium just looks amazing, and their setup was great. It complemented it well. It's the stage and the setup of those sets for wrestling shows. They really set the tone even before they throw a punch or hit a move. Usually like that'll like make you feel a certain way, and then because we've seen some real bad ones, but this one was good. This was really good.
So the show opens up with a montage by Kevin Hart. That was a nice touch because we didn't expect Kevin Hart to be involved at all with WrestleMania. So having him involved was really good. And then The Miz and Snoop Dogg, who are the hosts of the show, are in the ring. And so what do you guys say about The Miz?
You know what? I'm not a Miz fan, right? But he got a lot of disrespect this weekend, man. Like everything that was centered around The Miz was totally disrespectful. He got nothing out of the weekend. He took shots, hits, slaps, bumps. He was verbally insulted, physically insulted. It was just, good God. I don't know, man. I just don't think that's the way. I mean, he's like a one-man, Three Stooges.
Yeah. So The Miz and Snoop Dogg are the hosts for the night as they compare their celebrity status. And like I said before in previous shows, The Miz is married to Maurice, and I think he's doing all right in life. So before they throw to the first match, Corey Graves makes a statement that I was like, holy shit, I didn't realize that Michael Cole is calling his 22nd WrestleMania. And like, because when we think of the voice of WWE, the voice of WWE is Michael Cole. I mean, we always like to say it's Jim Ross because it's Jim Ross, but the voice of the WWE is really Michael Cole.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think about Michael Cole overall as an announcer? Take Jim Ross out of it because you can't compare. There is no comparison.
No, I mean, I don't think Michael Cole is that far behind. If not, I mean, right there with Jim Ross. I've always loved his commentary.
I'm shocked you said that. God,
no, I never had a problem with Michael Cole at all. I mean, there's some times that he could be a little agitating, but for the most part, the majority of his career, the things that he says, I like the fact that he, I was just watching the Roman match just before he got on air, and he gives these facts about older wrestling every now and then. He's not like Jim Ross that can give you like the complete history while you're watching the match. That's what makes Jim Ross so great, but he does do that. And for the contemporary announcer like Michael Cole, he's done it for so long. I think the reason the slight is he came up under the B-rated show of SmackDown.
Yeah.
Whereas Jim Ross was in prime time, front and center, all pay-per-views, right there, Raw. So Jim Ross is great, but Michael Cole is not anything, to scarf at. He's really good.
And now
there's a lot of great announcers. I mean, even Gorilla Monsoon stuff.
Well, that was Gorilla and Jesse. Come on, man, that was the best.
And then when Bobby Heenan is there, it's instant gold in WWF and WCW.
But now that Michael Cole, now that Vince is back, watch how terrible Michael Cole's announcing is going to get now, because now it's going to go back to that produce and say this, don't say that word. You can't use wrestling. You can't do this. You can't do that.
Him being yelled at.
Yeah, and he was like, "How do you want me to say it? How do you want me to say it?" Yeah, I'm trying to say, like, how do you work for a guy like that? I mean, outside of the money, the money and the platform, but it's like the music industry now. I don't want to get too sidetracked because we got a lot to get through, but it's like the music industry now. People don't work for the labels anymore because they're getting cheated. So it's like you can still look at Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder wasn't anything to write home about, but at least now he's making a name for himself. And if he ever does come back, he'll command more money though, because he's a bigger product now. All right. So let's get to the first match. The opening match is Mr. Golden Shovel himself, John Cena, versus United States champion Austin Theory. And what tonight you guys are going to see, I'm going to do my best impression of John Pollock. If you guys don't know who John Pollock is, go look him up. Tremendous wrestling announcer. I only hope that I could be as good as him in note taking. So I'm gonna just give my notes that I took on the matches, and then once the panelists get up, Venkat and everything, then they'll just shoot what they have. So what first thing that got me is that there wasn't any special entrances, and I hated the fact that the champ came out first. I always hate that.
Yes.
I think it minimizes the title. But what I did love is when Theory came out, he was the first person out, and they did that overhead shot of him standing on the ramp, and you see the sea of people and how long the ramp was. It just made it feel like it was a big moment. Like you said earlier, that whole SoFi Stadium just. It was crazy. See, now they're coming in. I'm telling you, these wrestling shows, y'all make sure and hit the like button, like, share, subscribe to the channel. All right. So in my notes, I said, I hated that they started off with a collar and elbow tie up. After John Cena cut the man to piss, he should have came out and knocked the hell out of him, but he didn't. Theory got great heel heat throughout the match, he even bit Cena twice in the match, which I thought was a real good touch. So Cena basically was playing the hits in this match, but the crowd was hot for it. He was doing his 5 moves of doom. He was playing all the hits. What I noticed about John Cena, he's terrible at it. Even though he's a 20+ year vet, he calls his spots so much. Good God, he calls those spots too loud. He doesn't know how to hide it, and it's just ridiculous. Also, he has the shittiest STF in the world. I think my daughter probably could hit a better STF than do a better STF than John Cena, because I mean, you could drive a truck through the distance that he has with the guy's chin. It is awful. See, stuff like that, I look at it and I'm like, man, you expose the business like that. But the match ended when John Cena went for the AA, and there had to be a ref bump because you can't just beat him clean. There was a ref bump. Cena got Theory in the STF, so Cena got the visual submission. So if they ever wanted to go back to it, he could say, oh yeah, I got you. Theory hit the low blow and hit an A-town down for the 1-2-3 in the middle of the ring. I thought it was a good opener. Had great heat for the match because it was the opener and the right guy won. I mean, Theory had to win that.
Yeah, this match I didn't think would be much, especially knowing that Cena is like thinking about filming a movie or show or something like that. And it's the first match only because he wants
Venkat, 1 second. Venkat, 1 second. And I don't want you to cut you off. St. Louis, I see you're in the chat. First of all, I appreciate you coming over here. I had some real good words for you on my show last night. If you want to come on, I know you don't show your face. But the link is in the chat. If you want to come on the panel, now you see that I'm a real person. So if you want to come on the panel, Venkat, this is the guy I was telling you about that I was being real mean to when I was over on the other channel, but we squashed everything. So it's all good, man. So I appreciate you coming onto the show. I can't really monitor the chat though. Hopefully my wife, when she's not busy, she has two kids watching right now.
He's saying what's good. I'm driving right now.
No, he's driving right now. All right. Yeah.
I'd love to come on one day.
Yeah, me and you, we definitely need to come on. You definitely need to come on because we got other stuff that we need to discuss about the community and stuff like that. But I appreciate you coming by. All right, go ahead, Venkat. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No problem. So, yeah, I mean the Cena made it kind of anticlimactic with that promo, which made no sense that he would do this to this young up and coming guy. This match, with the whole thing starting the event so Cena could get the hell out of Dodge and just do his time and then leave. That kind of was a bummer. But what I'll say is when you watch the match, it was a good match. There was even moments where I even said, oh my God, they might give this to Cena. Maybe they're working a deal where he can come back at a different time to defend it and then lose it at that point. But for this moment, they might just do it. So just the fact that Jeopardy was there in my mind, they did their job with it. Theory is starting to get more respect from me because to me, I looked at him as just useless, overhyped garbage. But the way he handled himself in this match, even with that horrible promo that Cena did to him, which is ridiculous, I think that he really came out and showed, that he's made of something more than just a guy that's just there, So I think he could be a top star, not too far from now. Now, with that being said, I felt like, especially going into the match, I felt like this is a match that they're having to talk about when they do his biography or, behind the scenes, like, oh yeah, like my first big match or whatever, or not my first, my first real big match in my career was against the legend Cena and I beat him. And, they like to talk about the milestones and they'll probably have this as a milestone for him. But regardless, they executed, they did the match well. And I got to give them props for that.
And the one common thread you're going to see, especially in night one, nothing overstayed is welcome. WrestleMania has a tendency of having these matches just go on and on and on and on and on. I think the longest match was the main event, was Roman and Cody, and that was only like 34 minutes.
And that's where it should be. The longest match should always be the main event.
All right, so match number 2. We had the showcase match, and let's just say this. I'm gonna read what I have on the bottom of my notes first. I have tremendous car crash of a match where everyone got their time to shine. I almost wished it was the opener. This match was phenomenal. So now here's what I took. I'm telling you, I took these notes, man. You had Ricochet and Strowman versus the Viking Raiders versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy. So first off, the crowd loves Otis. The Viking Raiders wreck shop by hitting Ragnarok on Ricochet. Chad Gable, let's give Chad Gable some love. Chad Gable, all 5 foot whatever of him, hit Strowman with the chaos theory. The whole time, this crowd was like shitting on Gable and like not really getting into him. When he hit Strowman with that chaos theory, the crowd was like, oh crap, I forgot we're supposed to boo this guy. Like, I mean, Chad Gable is a man. Chad Gable was awesome with Alpha Academy, man. Chad Gable is awesome. And I'm glad that he got his time to shine. So at this point, the match was just a high spot fest. Ivar, all 300 plus pounds of him goes for a moonsault and he missed the moonsault. So now what does Braun Strowman do? Braun Strowman's like, anything you could do, I could do better. Braun Strowman gets his big ass up on the top rope and goes for a frog splash and gets the near fall with it. So now the craziest spot of the match, one of the craziest spots of period, the whole damn WrestleMania, Ricochet does a double springboard from rope to rope and then hits I didn't even if he hit a moonsault, a 630 splash, like who knows what the hell he hit, but Ricochet is just unreal, man. And then, so now Ricochet goes for the 430 again on Dawkins in the ring. This was a great spot. So Ricochet goes for his big finishing move. He lands on the knees of Dawkins, and then Montez Ford, while Ricochet is on Dawkins' knees, hits the damnedest frog splash you ever gonna see for the 1, 2, 3. Hey, listen, man, I thought that match was tremendous, and at this point, I was like, hey, they're on a roll with WrestleMania. I mean, I'm like, man,
I actually wanted 10 more minutes of this match, to be honest.
Yeah, I was like, and you know, I'm not the Spot Fest guy. You know, I'm not the Spot Fest guy. But when it's done, when you save it, and I didn't even talk about when Strowman was doing the Strowman Express and he's going around the ring, and Big Dawkins cut him off. I'm like, oh man! And then what did commentary do? Commentary put it over, and commentary normally they would just let that lay, but they were like, no, you got to remember Dawkins is a D1 football player, so he has the ability to do that. Man, I loved it, man. I loved it, man. When I'm not a fan of high spots, but when high spots are done right, man, you get this, and this shit was awesome.
I mean, they need to push Ricochet and what's the name? Montez Ford. They need to push them too, man. They're spectacular. I mean, they make me. It reminds me of like Too Cold stuff. They never did push Too Cold like that, but you just know, like when you watch them in a match, you're gonna see something special, and that has to mean something. I mean, it's not. Wrestling has so many different variables, so many aspects, so many different phases and parts to it. But we seem to get away from what guys can do in that ring. These guys are amazing in that ring, and they can't forever just be that Shelton Benjamin, Kofi for the longest time until they had an epiphany. Oh God, let's put the belt on him. But they gotta push.
Somebody got hurt. Huh? That was only because Mustafa Ali got hurt.
See, there you go. See, it's never a genuine, like, what they do in there is top notch. And I think like these workhorse guys, even in the most spectacular fashion, they still, for whatever reason, get overlooked. And I can't wait for that. I would love to see these guys have like a series of six. I know that he's a tag team and everything, Montez Ford, but my God, man, we need to see him go at it with Ricochet is the man right now. Yeah. They're both great. And then I just got to say this. Otis, I can't get enough of Otis.
I love Otis, man.
Listen. He's great, man. He's great. He could do no wrong to me. He's never. I've never seen him and said, "Oh, he messed that up." He's never could do any wrong for me. I just get thoroughly entertained when I see him.
They had Ricochet on the roster for years, and Vince never did anything with him. It wasn't until Triple H got in control where he was like, "Hey, man, I got one of the best wrestlers in the world on my roster. Let me use him." St. Louis, we'll get to that Roman Reigns thing later. You're gonna hear me have a meltdown, so just stay tuned. Just stay tuned. I really can't see the chat, so Nene, if you could just drop the link in the chat in case anybody wants to come on, because I'm looking down at my phone every now and then to check out the chat. So next we have, everybody thought this match was going to be the sleeper. This match was tremendous. Seth Rollins versus, I'm not even going to call him a YouTuber anymore, versus badass pro wrestler Logan Paul. And
he's official with you, huh?
Yeah, listen, man. Logan Paul was official with me after that Saudi match with Roman. So I mean, but
to
Night, listen, if and just so everybody knows, if you didn't hear the show last night, Logan Paul's contract ran out at WrestleMania on his birthday. So right now he's a free agent. If WWE does not re-sign this guy, then you deserve whatever you get, and that's all I'm going to say. My patience for them right now is at a zero after that Raw last night, and after this news of Vince McMahon. Like it's whatever. So
that's what really sucks too. Like here you have like really a generational WrestleMania where it's legit good, and you take away all the heat and the thunder from that spectacular showing, and it's all about, well, Vince McMahon, what about Vince McMahon? What about the UFC? What about the sale? And it's like, we should be talking about like these epic matches that we just saw and how great the event as a whole came together. And that's not what we're talking about. We're mainly talking about us in general, the fans and the industry. It's just talking about the sale and Vince McMahon's dynamic and the changes that are possibly going to happen. And that's overshadowing what you want, which is a great WrestleMania showing in general. So I don't know, man. They got to have a hell of a SmackDown and a hell of a Raw next week.
Yeah, so I mean, SmackDown is going to have to. All right, this is because this is frustrating. All right, so we had Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. So Logan Paul comes to the ring on a zip line, first of all, and you knew my partner here was sending me text messages, criticizing this. I mean, because he has a soft spot for what happened with Owen Hart, which we all do, but I don't think the two things are mutually exclusive. So Logan Paul comes to the ring on the zip line with the Prime Energy drink mascot. So it's his mascot. The whole time the mascot's coming to the ring, I was thinking it was his brother. I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be Jake Paul. So Seth, this didn't come off good. I'm gonna say this. The orchestra, the guy that comes out like the symphony guy.
Yeah, that was trash.
It was terrible because it wasn't timed right. Like it was.
But even if it was still trash.
Yeah, but I don't think Seth. You don't need that for Seth. The crowd is going to do that. Regardless.
Right.
So you don't need that. So that was a waste of time. Seth Rollins comes out with the worst. I mean, every week he's going to top himself. He came out with the worst outfit ever. I get it. I don't know what the hell is going on.
So what he did last year with the polka dots for the Dusty thing. Man, I mean, he has no limit to this outfit stuff he's doing.
So I put in here Seth Rollins' outfits are getting progressively worse. So and for like a minute, the crowd just chants his song. Like Seth Rollins is over. There's another guy that could have feuded with the champion, but we ain't gonna say that. So I got in my notes that these two guys are actually identical. Like when you look at them, their body type, they're identical, same height, same build. So let's get into the match. Logan Paul hits Rollins with some stiff body shots, and then commentary was stressing Logan Paul has titanium screws in his hand, which I think is legit. I think it's legit though. I think it's legit. When they used to do it with Lex Luger, but
I hated it then too. I'm like, okay, he has a screw in there, but still, it's not like you're gonna get hit by the screw. You're still getting hit by the.
But you got it. I mean, he was lighting. He was. I would have liked it better if they said, "Hey, this guy took Floyd Mayweather to the limit." Right. He's a good boxer, but he can't win them all. So So I got Logan Paul is so damn impressive with his transitions. He gets it, man. Like he hit us.
He got up to the top, he missed the move, but he jumped up to the top turnbuckle and then went up for like a splash or something, and he missed it. But I was like, my God, that jump up that's the quickest anybody ever gets up to the turnbuckle. Like from a standing position, he jumped up.
This guy's a legit athlete. So Logan Paul hits a side Russian leg sweep. Shout out to Bret Hart, and then from the seated position, transitions it into an octopus submission. This guy's only been wrestling 3. This guy only has 3 matches under his belt. So after that, Seth hits 3 dives into the barricade to get the match, to get back into the match. Because at this point, Logan Paul was basically dominating him because they were telling the story of the punches to the ribs and everything like that. So in a smart wrestling move, psychology, Seth then stomps the hand of Logan Paul on the steel steps. Let's neutralize the hand. Rollins goes for the pedigree. They trade pinning rolls for a minute. Boom. Logan Paul nails Rollins with the right hand and gets a great near fall. First near fall of the match. It was a great one. It was like a 2.5. So Logan Paul's business manager, some guy named KSI, I don't know who it is. They wanted us to believe that he was some big deal. I guess he is to the young people. I don't know. I'm 43. I don't know. So KSI is revealed under the suit, and they pull Rollins on the announce table. So now Logan Paul's going to go for his big social media splash. That's what I'm going to just start calling it, where he, they're videotaping as he goes for the frog splash. Right. They timed this so perfect. If they would have missed 1 second, this would have been off. Logan Paul looked in the air. Seth pulled KSI. Logan Paul came off. Boom. Hit KSI through the table. Rollins hits a pedigree for the near fall. Logan Paul hits a GTS. Logan Paul hits the GT. Remember in his last match, Logan Paul hit a buckshot lariat. AEW much. Logan Paul hits a GTS and then hits a massive frog splash for another great near fall. At this point, the crowd was just losing their shit. Like the crowd was going crazy at this. So Logan Paul goes coast to coast. Rollins catches him midair with a super kick, pedigree, then the stomp for the 1, 2, 3. Holy shit, that was a great match. Like that was awesome. That was crazy.
I mean, it seems like it's just this is the 3rd match, and it's like you're steadily going up and up and up. And it's it was a great showing again. I want to see Logan Paul and Bad Bunny. They're 2 outsiders that can wrestle. It'd be interesting to see what would happen when they're in there. It's amazing. They got like 2 celebrity guys, because usually a celebrity is just horrible. Just embarrassing. I like Snoop, but my God, he hit that rope so hard. But yeah, you can't give enough credit to Logan Paul. I mean, this guy needs to be on the roster, not maybe not full time, but part time, because he needs more than 3 matches. We need to really dig into what he could do.
So let me ask you a question. What if Logan Paul went against Gunther? Like, I think, first of all, I think that'd be the greatest thing ever. But what if they put a mid-card title on Logan Paul? Would you be against that?
Hell no. He's earned it already. He's earned that. Okay. This isn't. We can't say that he'll be disrespectful with the title. This wouldn't be like things we've seen in the past WCW. This wouldn't be like that. It would be legitimized, because he's already proven himself. Even though it's 3 matches, it's not just 3 matches. I mean, he performed extremely well in those matches. So
St. Louis is saying that Logan proved himself, that he can go a lot better than Bad Bunny. Yeah, he's a much better wrestler than Bad Bunny, but Bad Bunny
was good as well too. I mean, Bad Bunny. How many matches he had? Maybe 2.
2.
Yeah. 2.
Well, no, like 1. Yeah, 1 match in the Rumble. 1 match in the Rumble. So
2 matches. 2 matches. Bad Bunny's busy making millions with his music.
Being a billionaire. but Logan Paul gets it, man. Like, I don't know. I mean, they laughed at him and his brother when they start getting into this fight game, but I mean, shit, you can't. You just. I mean, you can't. All right, so I don't have much on this one, but this was my worst match of the night, of night 1.
Of night 1, but it's an upgrade. Put up against night 2.
It's an upgrade of that other one. But this I'll say this. They tried and they played the hits. Damage Control was working, playing the gimmick where you got to sell for the legends. And Lita is, I don't remember her ever being this bad in the ring, even in her prime. And I know she's getting older, but Trish is probably older than her. And Trish can at least still move. Lita is not fluid in the ring. Like everything, you know what she's like when Dominic Mysterio first started. And my wife, it's funny because my wife pointed this out. She was like, how come everything he does, it looks like he's counting in his head? And that's how Lita moves. Like everything Lita does is like she's and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. This match didn't do it for me. I mean, I'm sorry. And again, Damage Control loses again. So you constantly have Damage Control losing. You
kind of figure, don't you kind of figure that if WWE had the time, that they would have split this match into a singles match with Bayley and Becky, and then a tag team match with the Legends and the other members of Damage Control.
Makes too much sense.
It feels like that's what they would have wanted if
makes
they
too much sense.
Makes
too much sense. But from what I hear, the rumor is Trish is gonna turn on them and feud with Becky over the summer. So and again, I made this joke last night because we're cool now. St. Louis, you see his comment popped up on the screen when we were going through our little issue. His one insult to me all the time was, "Oh, you watch her. You're what grown man watches wrestling?" But you could tell St. Louis watches wrestling just as much as us. So it's like, hey man, it's what you do in the heat of battle, man. Whatever, man. So I can't wait till he comes on the platform because I tell you, he's a nicer version of me. So, and when I say that with all sincerity because he's aggressive. But I'm like the nasty aggressive, like I'll cuss you out and stuff like that. He doesn't go that far, but he's. I can't wait till he comes on, though, man.
He said he's been a wrestling fan since the 1980s.
Look at that. But I ain't got nothing on this match, man. I don't. I mean, I got notes, but it's all dissing Lita. So
I think that this match also suffers because the other matches, the quality of the other, right? So when you have a situation like that, your match that's mediocre really stands out. I could watch this match, and it's not a match that's like, oh my god. I've seen some wrestling matches that are like, my god. So I mean, it's not like it's on that level of like it's so horrible, it's unwatchable, it's so boring. You're doing anything but watching the screen when it's on. It's not that. It was when I was watching, I was like, it's not. There's nothing really horrible here, like horrible. I mean, yeah, there was mess ups on Lita's part and others here and there, but the overall match wasn't like the stinker that you would think. But because the quality was so elevated for so many of the performers on this particular night, they are really looking bad. They probably should have been on night 2. And they would have just not been, seen so horribly. If they were on night 2, they'd be better off.
This match probably should have been in between the Hell in a Cell and the main event on night 2. That would have been good placement for it. The good go get your popcorn. I'm not as nice on it as you because I just think it's a disservice to Damage Control. And right now, what I would do, I would just have Damage Control turn on Bayley. And at this point, we need to get back to the hugger Bayley. They need to just beat her down, get her off TV for a while, because ever since they came back at SummerSlam, it's overexposure too. They've been on my TV every single week, and they progressively have nothing to do. And it's just like, I'm just putting you on the TV just for the sake of putting you on TV. Meanwhile, you have like a Nikki Cross, you have a Doudrop, you have girls like that, you have Mi Ching that can't get on the damn TV because you're giving Damage Control all the time. And then you have 2, And it wouldn't be so bad if you had them wrestling. You literally have them coming out seconding Bailey because the other two girls don't talk English good. So it's like you got them on the screen and they're just wasting time. Io Shirai is one of the greatest female wrestlers in the world. Io Shirai needs to be next on line for Bianca Belair. I mean, they need to get this thing going, man, and just I mean, I could go on the whole.
Maybe that's why they lost this match, because there's an imminent breakup here.
It should be.
That's because to me, you know, I'm like, why did they have to lose this match? I mean, Lita and Trish don't really need any win or lose. They're just happy to be there. They're you know, they're veteran people. And then Becky Lynch isn't affected. Her star is still going to shine whether she wins or lose. So it just kind of odd, especially with the Damage Control losing, having a losing streak, essentially. Like, you would think they would just get this one. So it has to be that they're going to blow this crap up and start opening things up for them. Hopefully that's what they're doing.
Yeah, they've lost a lot more than they've won. And the problem again, Becky and Trish are gonna feud. Like Trish wants to be a heel. She wants to turn on Becky. Wouldn't it have been perfect to have the heels win, a sneak win or whatever, and then Trish just loses her shit and beats the hell out of Becky and then walks out? Everybody would have been booing her. It would have been great. But
they could have done a Larry Sabisco Dangerous Alliance type deal where it's the fault of a member, like let's say Lita or Trish or whatever, and you know, accidentally bumped into one of the other members, and then that caused the pinfall, and now that'll start the breakup situation. They could do something like that, like what happened to Larry Sabisco.
Yeah, it's I don't know. All right, here we go. Match number 5. Boy, I got a lot on this one. I'm going to tell you, next to the Bloodline story, this has been the best built story in WWE. You have the recently inducted Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio versus his son Convict Dom in what I thought was so enjoyable. All right, I got a lot of notes. I got a lot of notes on this, so you can interrupt whenever you want. But first, let's get into these. Let's get into these entrances. Dominic Mysterio. They cut a video of him being released from prison like he just killed 10 people. They walked him. They walked him to the paddy wagon, like how they did Kane back. I forget when it was, when Kane unmasked, and they were running the gimmick where they had to chain him up and he had the black towel on his head, and they'd have to walk him to the ring. So they back him up into the arena with in the paddy wagon, chained up. He has on a luchador mask. And hey, man, listen. When Dom first came in, we all shit on him, but to me, Dom has been like, if they had a comeback player or most valuable, most improved, this kid has it. And Angie and Aaliyah are sitting ringside, so you got something coming there. Also, Bad Bunny is out on commentary. I didn't see when Bad Bunny came to the ring, but he was on the Spanish announce team later to set up the angle. So now let's talk about Rey Mysterio's entrance. So they go backstage, and now you see the car driving in, and what do you hear? You hear G-Thing. At first, I didn't know who was driving. Snoop Dogg is driving Rey Mysterio into the arena, playing G-Thing. It only gets better, because then when they get into the main concourse, all you hear is Viva La Raza. The Eddie Guerrero music starts hitting, and I think then they should have just played Eddie's music all the way to the ring. I wasn't a fan of them cutting into the 619, but whatever. That's minor detail there. But I would have played the Eddie music all the way down. So what do you think about the entrances? Because like I say, I got a bunch of notes for this match.
The entrance epic, the best entrance of WrestleMania this year, at least. That was a great, to hear that music come on, and then like to have Snoop driving him in there. The fact that Rey Mysterio is like Mexican, and it just felt right. This was in LA. It was great. It was a really different kind of wrestling intro. Yeah, this feels like something more on the edge of like what maybe ECW would have probably done. I don't think you would get this from like a WCW or anything. So this is nice. This was very surprising and pleasantly surprising entrance, and my favorite entrance I've seen in many years.
Yeah, it was awesome. So all right, so the match starts out basically with Ray giving Dom a wrestling lesson. I mean, so Ray pulls out a belt and gives Dom a much needed ass whooping. So that got the crowd going. So Dom goes outside to where his mom and sister are sitting. So he takes Aaliyah's drink and throws the drink into Aaliyah's face. So at this point, the crowd is just like going batshit crazy over this. Aaliyah tries to jump the guardrail to get to her brother. That's the most emotion I've ever seen out of her. So Ray now goes to calm her down. Dom takes advantage. And I mean, Dom knows how to get heat. That's one thing about him. He knows how to get heat. So Dom gets the heat for Ray for a while. Dom goes outside and gets in his mother's face, and then she slaps the shit out of him. Ray smashes him on the post. He hit that post hard. And the crowd, because at this point, they got the crowd in the palm of their hands. Whatever was going to happen, but they had the crowd. So Judgment Day makes their way to the ring and causes a distraction. Dominic gets the advantage and works over Ray. The LWO, the newly formed Latino World Order, comes out to the ring to fight off Judgment Day. Ray and Dom are back in the ring. So so this is my one criticism. Dominic hits the worst and the slowest 619 I've ever seen. But his frog splash is tremendous. He gets that height with the with that frog splash. So now he gets a frog splash for a 2 count. And then Dominic takes the pad off of the turnbuckle, but the ref stops him. So now at this time, the Judgment Days ran back to the back, but Damian Priest left his jacket in the corner. So Dom gets a chain that was in the pocket of the jacket. Bad Bunny, who was at ringside, grabbed the chain from Dom. Dom hit the 619, hit a frog splash for the 1, 2, 3. Tremendous crowd pop, and Ray celebrating in the middle of the ring with his wife and daughter, and Dom is just walking back just with this shit-eating grin. And the one thing they did do, they got their heat back on Raw. That probably was the only decent thing on that Raw show last night. So whatever. What was your thoughts on this one?
Well, I going into it on the prediction show last week, I said that I would predict Rey Mysterio to win it. A lot of people will probably say that Dom would win it because he's the younger up and comer, and you were talking about Rey Mysterio wanting to put over his son, but I felt like Rey Mysterio should win, especially with all the torments that have been happening in this storyline for over the last several months. It would only be right to end it this way. Plus, Ray is the veteran, and there's got to be something to be said to do a craft for a certain amount of time, and with the youth of him being an advantage and a disadvantage. Just because you're younger and you're up and coming doesn't mean you need to win. I remember Mr. Perfect beating Brock Lesnar in one of his earlier matches, a dark match that they had, and it's surprising to see Mr. Perfect, but it shouldn't be because he's a veteran guy, and the vets sometimes have to win. And this was not a suspension of disbelief. Rey Mysterio's been a lot of wars in that ring, and he's capable of beating his son. And I thought it was the right move. Now, Dom, I'm not a fan. I think there's good things. I do see the elements that are good. I think it's a missed opportunity because this whole jail Don, prison Don, whatever the hell he wants to call himself, I think it gets so silly and comical that it kind of does a disservice to a greater story that they could have told. You think back to NWO when they launched Rey Mysterio's into the truck outside, that was played seriously. There was no like giggling or playing around. They kept it straight, and with that legitimacy and straightness, you could have really made a more legitimate story that would have been more compelling. Because when you hear even the announcers are saying, well, he's been locked up in the pen and he's been hardened as a hardened criminal, and all this nonsense. And I think it took away from the believable factor. And now you have the family involved and they're acting like there's a real rift in the family. And that doesn't work being halfway funny and halfway serious. And some of the angles that they've chose to do, they try to be serious, but then you turn around and then he's making that silly videos about him being in jail. And it just doesn't make sense. Like, they should have went in a realistic angle with this. Make you really feel like, oh my God, I think they're really not happy with each other. So, and then you took a step further with the Hall of Fame, with him exiting the room when Rey Mysterio came, and you're doing that, and I'm fine with that. I mean, that's good for the story and leading in, but you botched this overall thing with the inconsistencies of being laughy, funny, and unserious with the serious angle of what's supposed to go on. So that really takes it out for me, and I wish they wouldn't. I mean, even Hogan and Macho Man, right? There was no laughing and playing when the Mega Powers exploded and they were in the back and Hulk Hogan was being butchered by Randy Savage with those hits to the head, and Elizabeth's like saying, "Stop, Randy, stop." When I'm watching that, the chaos and everything, it felt real. And they earned that high rating that they had back then because of how they kept it straight. They didn't laugh. They didn't have the commentary team undermining the story as the story is trying to develop. So I wish they would have done a better job with this. For the people that like this, good for you. But I'm looking at it like, oh man, you could have done so much better with this.
I was wondering which match you were going to totally go off the deep end on, and the fact that you got all of that out of this, I'm not even going to argue. I'm just
saying. I wish it was better done. I wish that, because I want to believe
that to perfection.
That match that was him.
But he's not. That's his son. He's not though.
I'm just
that's
saying,
where you had to suspend your disbelief. Well,
it's hard when the guys in the commentary are like literally laughing. Yeah, he's been locked up in the joint for a few months.
They did not say that. They said you want us to believe. I'm talking about Jim Ross. Michael Cole says all the time, dude, you only spent 10 minutes in lockup. It's tongue in cheek. It's tongue in cheek.
I don't want that. I wanted a serious angle out of this.
When Rick and Scott were feuding in WCW, you believe that they really hated each other?
No, but that's they're not doing a story like this where you're going into the Hall of Fame, and it's a different situation. Like, I hate when tag teams or family members are fighting. But this one, they're going the extra mile to make it have realistic moments. But then they were inconsistent with the stupid, sideshows that they were doing. I'm just saying, be consistent with it. And that's not much to ask for. But I thought that this would have really delivered if they would have made it more serious and just did a old school type wrestling angle that you can't tell are they really upset with each other or not. I would have loved to have seen that instead of for that. Why even bother doing the angle at this point? Why even do this if you're going to play around like that?
It got his son over. That's why. So because looking at the time, we're actually making pretty decent time here. Yep. So let's go into what's probably going to be arguably for years to come and a heavy debate as to that this may have been the match of the entire both nights. I don't think it was, but it's up there. Like it's 1C. Let's just put it that way. So you got 1A, 1B, 1C. And to me, this is 1C, a match that had a shitty build, but these two women went out there and not just had a great women's wrestling match, they had a fantastic wrestling match that I could right now put on a easily a top 15 list of all-time WrestleMania great matches, and that's for the SmackDown Women's Championship, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. The one thing that shocked me in this match is that Charlotte didn't have a special entrance. Normally she does. Like normally, you know, when they had the main event, she came in the helicopter, you know, is, you know, reminiscent of her dad. It was weird that nobody really had an over the top entrance, but Charlotte in particular, she wouldn't have a special entrance because she always
especially in Hollywood.
Yeah, and the fact that she always does it just so Charlotte is supposed to be the babyface in this match, but Charlotte isn't a babyface. Charlotte is a heel, and the crowd lets you know right off top that hey, they were cheering for Rhea this whole match. So the women start out trading power spots. And again, ring psychology. Charlotte is normally bigger than the majority of her opponents, so she's not used to a woman being as powerful as her, and you know, basically her opposite. So Charlotte goes for the kick behind the knee that her dad normally does. And Rhea just throws her into the turnbuckle. So Rhea gets a body scissors, and you could hear, this is where it was hard, man. You could hear Charlotte was doing her best John Cena impersonation, calling spots. I mean, she was calling. She wasn't even trying to put her hand up. She was like, turnbuckle. You know, I was like, oh God, come on, man. That took it down a peg for me. So Rhea hit Charlotte with a nasty German suplex. And again, that was the first one. That wasn't the dangerous one. And again, you could hear Charlotte calling those spots. So Charlotte comes back with a couple of big boots and chops. And the crowd was reacting big to those chops, normally because you're going to get the woo chant. Charlotte goes for a high cross body and is caught by Rhea. Rhea goes for a riptide, but Charlotte counters it into a spike DDT. That DDT looked real good. Rhea catches Charlotte off the top rope for a great suplex and a near fall. So moving on in the match, Charlotte clips the knee and hits a natural selection for a 2 count. Both women roll to the floor. Charlotte goes for the spear and hits the ring steps. Rhea hits another suplex for a near fall. Rhea goes for the riptide and hits Charlotte with a nasty overhead suplex. That's when she landed splat on her face, and they just kept replaying it. At first, I thought she fell right on her head, and I thought like they were going to have to throw the X's up. But she hit her face hard, and she had a mark on her nose. I don't think it's broken, but she's feeling it. So where was I? So Charlotte goes and hits the ring steps. All right. So Rhea goes for the riptide, hits Charlotte. Okay. Charlotte hits a great big boot and knocks Rhea off the ring apron. Charlotte goes for the moonsault outside that she never hits, but this time she hit it a little bit and it didn't look as terrible as it normally does. So Charlotte almost spears the ref. Rhea hits a nice headbutt and then a riptide for a near fall. The crowd is, at this point, the crowd is coming unglued because these women are bringing it. Rhea gets Charlotte in a clover leaf, and Charlotte reaches for the ropes for the break. So I got on my notes, these two women are beating the shit out of each other. The crowd starts to chant that this is awesome. And it's a well-deserved "this is awesome" chant. This match is great. So the ending comes when the two women are fighting on the top rope, and Rhea kind of jumps down with Charlotte's head in her hand, and Charlotte, all you hear is just splat on the top of the ring post, and Charlotte just goes limp. Like, I don't know, they did do the producers of who put the matches together, but that was a great spot for Charlotte to just go limp the way she did. And Rhea hit her with an avalanche riptide off of the top rope for the 1-2, stacked her up for the 1-2-3, and the crowd went crazy. I mean, this match was 5 stars, and I'm not even into the star rating. This match was a 5-star match. Those two women destroyed it, and you could tell Charlotte had a chip on her shoulder, and that she was outside selling on the ring rope. She just started laughing. You could just see the laugh on her, and I feel like she was saying to herself, like, "Follow that, bitch." That's what she was saying. Like, the match was fantastic, Venkat. I mean, the bill was horrendous, but the match was tremendous. MD asked a question last night, and I had to think about it at first, but I always try to be truthful because everybody knows Bianca Belair is my favorite women's wrestler. He asked, would that match be the same if it was Bianca versus Charlotte? Absolutely not. Charlotte is a ring general. Charlotte will probably go down as the greatest women's wrestler of all time when it's all said and done.
This was the best match in all of WrestleMania we saw the whole weekend. This was the match of the matches. This match should have really been the main event. And the reason why it should be the main event is because the tag team titles should not supersede it, especially when you have this kind of women. Remember, we just came out the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble, there were 2 of them, and the big stakes were a men's world title and a women's world title. And you have 2 nights. So there should have, because if you go by the logic of the road to WrestleMania, and you have those 2 Rumbles, one has to be the main event, which is women's, and one has to be the men's main event. And I love the fact that they do 2 different Rumbles. I love that. And I think that should have been the main event. I think that's what Charlotte was laughing about, because she knows that they should have been last. I understand Sami Zayn stuff, but that's a tag team title. Tag team title doesn't supersede the world title, whether it be a man or a woman. So with that being said, it could have been second to last, but these 2 women should have been last, and there would have been no shade or nothing like that. And again, I already told you about how I feel about that thrown together tag team match anyway. But this was the real main event for night 1. And it delivered. And it delivered, I think, of all the matches, 1 and 2, this was the best match. The physicality was there. The psychology was there. The drama, the storytelling. Everything you want in wrestling was in that match. And it was after it was over, you couldn't, I don't care what, there's a lot of idiots in wrestling that they need, when a woman's in the ring, they need to see tail. They need to see this and that. You're not a wrestling fan. You're an idiot. What they did was magic in there. And if you just replaced their bodies with 2 guys, and they would have done that this year or 10 years ago or 20 years ago, we would be talking about this like Flair, Steamboat, and all these other matches we've been hailing as the best. The time to acknowledge greatness has to come at some point, and that match was the match of the whole event.
I don't disagree with the majority of what you said. And so here's the deal, because a lot of you guys are new listening. You don't know the backstory. Venkat, they could have put any match on last. Venkat just didn't want the tag team match to be last because he hates the storyline. I mean, you guys are probably going to hear it when we review it. But this match was tremendous. It was. I can't. This
is probably going to be the match of the year, because I don't think anybody is going to beat this.
No, it's not going to be the match of the year.
It's going to be a match. I mean, okay, they won't make it the match of the year because it's 2 women, but it's going to be the match of the year because they went at it. This was how you do wrestling. This is the type of wrestling I like, where they're going at it. They're not hesitating. They're not stalling. They're not going through the motions. They look like they were going head on against each other. And those two near net breaking moves that almost happened to Charlotte. My God, the injury to her nose. This isn't cutting your head with a blade and bleeding. This bull. They went at it. There's reality mixed into this with stage theatrics. That's wrestling. That's the perfect chemistry for wrestling right there. And I'm calling it now because I don't think if anybody has a better match for the remainder of the year, that's a hell of a match that they're gonna have, because this is setting a bar, and people need to talk about this match more so than some of these other matches that they're talking about, because this doesn't get, and the part of the reason why it's not going to get the recognition because it wasn't the last match, and it wasn't the last match because there were women and blah blah blah. This was the best match. That
you can't use that example. That's not true when they closed WrestleMania out with women prior to this. So you can't say that.
Yeah, but
this match had the worst build. Well, no, second worst.
Okay,
the Raw title had the worst build.
We talked about so many bad bills throughout this event. So being a bad bill isn't anything. I'm just saying in general, for what it is. We saw Triple H and Chris Jericho go last when Rock and Hogan were wrestling. This is the world title for women, and we had a Rumble for women. And why are they not last? That boggles my mind. There was no excuse for that. I don't care what was going on. They should have been last, and they need that They need that credit because they did a hell of a job in there. A lot of the men's matches wasn't on that level. And then you're laughing, but I can't stress enough.
You know why I'm laughing? Because if anyhow Sammy would have beat Roman at Elimination Chamber, you wouldn't have been saying this. I know man. That's why you're saying this.
Okay, there's no time I'm going to say that the tag team title is going to be over a world title unless you're not recognizing that world title as anything significant or a high prize. Because I don't understand what is the problem.
But you didn't have a problem with the U.S. title opening the show.
No, I don't. That's what the U.S. title could do that. You could do that with a U.S. title. That's a step below the world title. So I'm fine with that. The TV title or whatever Intercontinental title, I'm fine with that. I would rather not have a title match as the first match. Honestly, I would rather it be a good type of opening match, maybe a cruiserweight, but I'm okay with that. I'm just saying these women need their credit, man. They need their credit. They were disrespected, and they went out there and they did a match that nobody else followed over 2 days.
Oh, so, nah.
I'm saying. And we're gonna get into that main event. Nobody else followed when Rhea and Charlotte was in there. That was the best match.
Now you're going too damn far. And you know what?
Far at all.
You know what?
I haven't even scratched the surface.
Now that I've reviewed this, I've had time to think about it. I will say that this match was better than the tag team match. But again, to me, the story of the tag team match is what drove everything. And 80% of the people that watch it will say that was the story. This match was tremendous, and I'll give this match 1B, but this match was not better than the main event. But we'll get there. So a whole bunch of crap happened. So Snoop and Miz are in the ring, and this is the part that, like, when me and Venkat were texting back and forth, I don't know why this bothered me so much, because I've been dealing with this company forever, but this bothered me to no point. The entire night they'd been saying, hey, it's 75,000 people here, 75,000 people here. Snoop and Miz come out to do the do the attendance record. What number do they say? 81,000. The entire night on commentary, you've been like 75,000, 75,000, 75,000. Now all of a sudden it's 81,000 people in the building. And I don't know why that bothered me so much, man, but it did, because I'm like, the arena looked great. If you would have told me it was 60,000 people in there, I'd have been okay. Like I was like, man, y'all got 60,000 people for 2 nights. That's insane. The arena looked great. It was nice and full. It was loud the majority of the night. Like that just bothered me. So now Miz issues an open challenge. I don't want to spend too much time on this because again, I agree with you. I didn't like how Miz was disrespected in this, and
it's unnecessary.
This would have been the ideal time if you wanted to have a open challenge. Why wasn't LA Knight brought out? Why did they not bring LA Knight? Hell, I would have took Bobby Lashley coming out and destroying Miz. At least it would have made sense. Bobby Lashley is pissed that he was left off the card because Bray got hurt. Let me come out and wreck shop. No,
not only that, but the history that
bring an announcer back. They bring a damn announcer back like Pat McAfee, and the crowd didn't give a shit about Pat McAfee coming back. They couldn't care 2 shits. And Pat McAfee normally gives a tremendous reaction, but nobody cared. And then you got George Kittle helping them on the outside. I'm getting tired of this celebrity involvement in these football outside of Logan Paul, but I'm because these guys aren't committing to anything. They just want to be seen on TV, and I'm just, man, I'm done with them, man. I'm done with it.
I did not. I mean, everybody on social media is like giving Snoop credit and all this other stuff. I mean, I could have done without that. I think again that awkward ass hitting the ropes. He didn't even hit the rope, touching the ropes. And then the whole gestures with the Rock stuff. Then the elbow. The elbow was the best thing, and that was horrible. It's just stupid. And it's like if you want to bring them down or whatever, like you're saying, have an interview. You guys like to open your mouth so much. Have an interview, a nice back and forth, like Roddy Piper when he used to have his little interviews at WrestleMania. Do something like that, but don't do this stupid nonsense. And the Miz, I mean, the Miz is a legit. He's accomplished a lot. And when I don't know if you've seen it, Trevor, the WWE Evil.
I haven't watched those yet.
You got to see it. Go right to the Miz episode. And they really broke down like what he been through, and the disrespect, the overlooking, the disregard. They show footage of people turning on him. Those are real stories because it's the truth. It's the truth. It's not fabricated like in wrestling a lot of times. He literally has a plight, just like The Rock had a plight. Just like Roman Reigns had a plight. And I'm happy to see that they overcame those things, and they got to a level higher than we would have ever thought. And The Miz is in that league. The Miz has legit accomplishments. He's won every title multiple times. And you don't do that if you're a joke. And if you keep you keep disrespecting a guy that has achieved in your league or your organization, and now you look silly. So I just wish they wouldn't do it. Every time I saw it, like, okay, how frequently is this guy gonna get disrespected like this? He's getting hit, he's getting punched, he's getting yelled at, he's getting everything. It's just horrible, man. It's just horrible. So it bothered the hell out of me.
All right, we got to get to the main event because I gotta go to bed a decent hour tonight. So so we got the main event for night 1. Again, the champions come out first. I don't like it. I know why they did it. I mean, it was obvious when Sammy came out why they did it. Because they wanted that pop, but at no point should the champions ever come out first. You're the champion. Exactly. You should be respected. Ric Flair never came to the ring first. It doesn't happen that way. So loud, I mean like loud ole 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 chants. I even think at one point Michael Cole made a El Generico reference on commentary. Hey, that's the last time you're going to hear that, because now with the old man back in business, you're gonna be, El Generico, he's gonna, don't mention him on my TV. So all right, let me run through this real quick. So So Jay and Sammy start out the match. So they lock up, and the heels work over Sammy in the ring and on the outside. So they basically just beating the hell out of Sammy, getting the heat on him. Sammy can't get much offense going because he's selling. That's what Sami Zayn does. He sells real good. So Sammy finally gets in some offense and makes that slow crawl to make the hot tag to KO. Owens comes in on fire, hitting the okay. So Owens hits a cannonball to Jimmy.
Switch your image.
Oh shit. Yeah. So Roman KO hits a cannonball to Jimmy, hits a frog splash to Jay on the outside. But then Jay, so there was a lot of no selling going on in this match. So Jay hits KO with an elevated neck breaker. Then KO pops right back up, goes for a senton bomb, which lands on Jay's feet. Jimmy hits KO with a splash. Sammy, all this is going on like they aren't selling shit. Sammy hits Jay with a brain buster on the apron.
Speaking of no selling, the main event, I gotta talk about something there. Go ahead.
Sammy hits Jay with a brain buster on the apron. Like that looked great, but kind of wouldn't do that one. KO hits a cannonball. Sammy hits an Uso splash. No, the Usos hit a Uso splash for the 2 count. At this point, it's just going chaos. They're basically having the Young Bucks Lucha Brothers match. They're just going move for move for move for move. So Jay asks Sammy, good thing the bloodline, one thing I really love about what they do, they talk to their opponent. It was one thing in school when you beat somebody up and you talk crap to him while you were beating the hell out of him. I'm just a real big fan of that. So Jay asks Sammy if he hears that shit before he unloads on Sammy with a super kick. The Usos deliver a pair of super kicks to the back of Sammy's head for the 2 count. MD made mention of this last night. KO was missing a large majority of this match. I thought KO was hurt because every time I looked on the apron, he was never there. So KO's laid out on the outside. Again, they hit Jimmy. They hit Sammy with stereo super kicks for another 2 count. Owens comes back and fights Jimmy on the outside. The Usos hit KO with a double choke slam through the announce table. The Usos hit a 1D on Sammy for the nearest 3 count. I mean, like that was a 2.999, and the referee had to pull not to have his hand hit. And like I said, I noted in here, Jay is so great with his shit talking. He's like literally just talking shit to Sammy as he pummels him in the corner. Jay hits Sammy with a haluva kick. Sammy hit. Okay, so Jay Uso hit Sami Zayn with the haluva kick, and then Sammy no-sold it and hit Jay with an exploder to the corner. KO crawls back on the apron. KO comes in. He hits a double pop-up power bombs. Sammy hits a haluva kick on Jay. KO hits a stunner for a 2.8 count. So a haluva kick, stunner, you're still only getting the 2.8 count. But so this I thought this was real cool. I like when they do this. So at this point, they just beat the shit out of each other. Everybody's hitting move after move after move. So the 2 teams are in the middle of the ring having a standoff to where they just start throwing punches. And like at this point, the crowd is just going crazy. So KO delivers a pair of super kicks, and Jimmy makes the blind tag. The Usos super kick Sammy out of the ring and hits KO with their stereo Uso splash for another near fall. I gotta note again, at this point, SoFi Stadium was lit up. They were going insane. The crowd heat for the night period was great. So another double super kick. Like they were trying to outdo the Young Bucks with the super kicks to KO. The Usos are setting up for the double superplex, but Sammy pulls Jimmy out, tosses him over the announce desk. KO hits Jay with a top rope. He hit Jay with a top rope fisherman buster. Sammy gets back in the corner for the hot tag, and Sammy hits. Okay, so this is the end of the match, but I love this. Sammy KO looked at Sammy and told him to do it now. It wasn't like he was trying to bully him, but it was like now you got to just kill him. He's the final boss. Sammy's on one end of the ring, looking at Jay on the other end of the ring. Boom, nails him with a haluva kick. Jay does that slow fall into Sammy's arm. Sammy holds him back up, grabs him by the face, pushes him back in the corner. Boom, another haluva kick. He falls again, and now I'm about to put you out of your misery. Boom, the third haluva kick, stacks him up. 1, 2, 3. First time the Usos have lost that title in over 600 days. This is only the second time a tag team match has ever WrestleMania main event in WrestleMania outside of
first.
No, the second. The first WrestleMania was a tag team match.
Yeah, since
main
the
event.
first. Yeah, that's the first time since the first.
Oh, you said since the first. Yeah, this is it. Okay, I thought you said this is the first. You said this since the first. Yeah, this is the second time in history that a tag team match is main event in WrestleMania, and I thought this was tremendous. It did have its down points with KO always being missing, and I'm not a big fan of no selling. I'm not. I mean, because if you look at something realistically, if you're getting hit in the head multiple times as they were throwing those super kicks, at some point you're just going to lay there. You can't keep getting up. Like, adrenaline be damned. You can't keep getting up. So as I'm thinking of this in my head, the Charlotte match was better, but to me, I'm always about the storyline over everything. I thought this was great, and this sent me home. Well, I wasn't home. I was already home, but this sent me home happy. Go ahead and shit on it.
So, it's no secret. I was not looking forward to this match. I feel like it's just a thrown together thing. I don't care for it, to be honest. But what I will say is the match itself, it's not a bad match at any stretch of the imagination. It's a good match. It's just, do you think that the Usos are like the best tag team ever in WWE? Do you think that?
Because I'm old school, I'm always say Demolition, but for what they base it on title run. That's how they base it. I don't think so, because I think the Revival are better. I think the Revival is the best tag team.
They're not better than Heart Foundation. I would say they're not even better than Strike Force. I mean,
come on.
Seriously, they were pretty good. You obviously weren't watching Rick Martel and Tito Santana.
We were having a good show, and now
they're not
Strike Force. Come on,
yeah, man. They're not better than. I'm talking about as far as in ring, as far as what they do. Rick Martel is one of the greatest wrestlers, especially back in those days coming up.
We get it. You love nostalgia wrestling. We get it.
It's not nostalgia. I'm judging by what they can do, how they do it. Tito Santana, again, another great hand in the ring there. Do these two guys, the Usos, I'm not saying they're bad wrestlers or whatever, but I don't feel like they're not going to be on the level of Tito and them. So for me to say Strike Force, Strike Force isn't known like that. They didn't have the reign like that. But I'm just telling you, like, they're not better. They're not better than that. I'm just saying. The British Bulldogs are better. There's a lot better. Now, I don't know why people are making this big deal about these reigns when, again, it's what I talk about is what you can do in the ring. What they talk about is what the writers in the back say, you're going to hold the title for X amount of days. That's not greatness to me. So I'm talking about on that level. They're not on that level. I don't see them that. But I mean, hey, they're doing their thing for this period, and that's fine for them. But this is another reason why this match isn't really the greatest. I don't feel like the Usos are really top-notch tag team there, and so we can put that belt on them and put them next to Roman, and let's say that they're like the Horsemen and they have all the titles and whatnot. But that doesn't mean nothing to me. I'm looking about how you perform and how you're in the ring. Again, they're not bad wrestlers, but do they light my life on fire when I see work in the ring? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. So. But the match was better than what I thought it would be.
But you like the Young Bucks, like that's what kills me.
Trevor, you gotta do some more
you
some
like
more
the
genuine
Young Bucks.
stuff. I never said I like the Young Bucks. All I told you was that I don't particularly watch them a lot, and I won't disrespect them. Just because I didn't say something bad about them doesn't mean I like the Young Bucks. But you see, there you go again. There you go. You run with your little stories, but whatever. I'm just saying this match right here, it's fine. It's fine. Is it the I don't even think it was the third best match on WrestleMania. I don't. I thought that there were better matches, especially that Gunther one. But yeah, that's just me. It might not even be the fourth best, to be honest, because that Ricochet match, in the 8-man tag, that's not better. This was better than that, in my opinion. You're story driven and all that stuff, but I like what's in the ring. That's what I look for. Okay, but to be down with a story, I'm looking about in that ring. It's nice when a story can complement what's in the ring, but it's wrestling first. For me, it's wrestling first. So, I'll give the match from 1 to 10, 7 maybe, 7. The crowd was involved, and that's good. But it's not Lex Luger and Sting and Lex Luger versus Steiner. So
nothing is that. That's the point. At some point, you got to realize we're never getting that back again. I love that old stuff. You're never getting that back.
But that's what I'm saying with the female match. But that's what I'm saying though. Like, maybe not to the level of what the Steiners do, but that was gritty wrestling with what Rhea and them did. So the fact that they could do that, that I know everybody's not gonna be able to do that, but they did that. I just love that. This tag team match, it's not just Sting and Luger versus Steiners, by the way. It's the Nasty Boys versus the Steiners, Halloween Havoc 90, hard hitting, crazy match. It's the Steiners winning the IWGP Championship in Japan Super Show. It's the Steiners versus Sting and Great Muta in Japan Super Show 2. Like, there's some the Steiners versus the Road Warriors at Starrcade 89, Future Shock. Great matches, man, with awesome moves, powerful young studs just going at it. I just like that. I just liked seeing that, where it feels like an athletic competition. Even though it's a scripted professional wrestling match, when you watch what they do, you're like, okay, that is not Hulk Hogan hulking up and shaking and all that stuff. This is something
You're
else.
not getting that again. I love that stuff. You're not getting it again. So stick to where we are now. You're not getting that. This is a totally new breed of performer. They care more about their star ratings than they do about actually learning their craft. You're not getting that anymore.
No, I think the wrestlers of today are really good. There's some great guys out there that can do amazing things, better than what we saw when we were coming up. AEW showed us that last week.
Name one.
That guy that did that damn triple somersault.
That's an acrobatic move. But did he tell any story in the ring?
It was not just that move. That was a highlight of the match. But
did he tell any story in the ring? Did he tell any story in the ring? Did he do any match psychology?
Oh Lord.
Exactly. All right, I don't want to. I'm not wasting this time talking about AEW. I don't want to. I'm not going to say nothing bad about them.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. So again, Venkat, I did exactly what I thought he was going to do. He shit on the match. It's fine.
I said it's a 7.
All this is subjective. Like everything, was all subjective. So
it's a 7.
I thought night one was tremendous outside of that 6-woman tag and the stuff with Miz. So I gave night one a solid 8 just because.
8.5, I think you gave it an 8.5.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I gave it about an 8.5 because I was going to give it a 9, but the attendance thing just really, really bothered me. I don't know why it bothered me so much, but it did. So
in the video that we saw on the top of the show, I said it would be at best a 5. Well, night one was more than a 5. I would say night one, right up there with Royal Rumble. I think my Royal Rumble rating was like an 8.59, around that. So night one was good. Night one was very good.
So St. Louis makes an interesting comparison. I never thought about this because when I read it and it said Hart Foundation, I was just thinking of Jim the Anvil Neidhart and Bret Hart. He says the Bloodline is a ripoff of the '97 Hart Foundation, with Pillman and all of that. Everybody watches this stuff subjective. I don't see how, because nobody in that Hart Foundation was Roman. Nobody.
You had a bunch. Bret Hart wasn't.
No, absolutely not.
Bret Hart was the world champion, and he was.
You guys overrate Bret Hart so much. Hey, listen, there's some things. Listen, we gonna start telling some truths over here. The Iron Man match at WrestleMania 12 was shit. Bret Hart isn't the greatest wrestler of all time, like you guys try to make him.
But he's damn good.
No, he is, but he's not like how you guys try to put him up like he's just the greatest thing. Because if you could criticize a John Cena for the 5 moves of doom, you better damn sure criticize Bret Hart, because Bret Hart had his certain set of his certain move set that he did, and we're gonna stop acting like Ricky Steamboat and Ric Flair's trilogy was the best. Because when you watch that through new eyes, that was watching paint dry. It was. I seen things way better than that. So those some truths.
That's not fair. That's not fair for them. I agree with some of the stuff you're saying here, as far as like with the Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat thing. Because in the day, I didn't get why people were like so fast. The first match at WrestleWar 89, that match was the best one. Because when I saw that match for the first time, I was like, man, this feels like an actual athletic competition and a struggle. But it still wasn't like that's my, like, if I had to watch one match or 10 matches, it wouldn't be in my 10 matches that I would have to watch for the rest of my life. But it was still good. So I get what you're saying. As far as paint dry, I mean, yeah. But they do go a little bit overboard. I mean, when you see like a WCW top 10 match of all time, and they got like 4 Ricky Steamboat Flair matches at the top 4 matches, and like that's just odd to me. How's that legitimate? But yeah, it does. There is a little bit of an overrating on certain things, but the matches don't change. People have the ability today to watch what they did, and then they take what they did, and then they expand upon it. Like they just add on to it because they have that luxury. When I look at things from the past, I can't. Because like what you said, you're looking at it with new eyes, but that's not fair. Look at it from in the day and in that time, because they can only do what they had in that moment. But the people of today, that's why you could theoretically be harder on today's athletes or wrestlers or whatever, because they have the advantage to go back, look, adjust, add on, take away. These guys didn't have that. They gave you something great with little to nothing. Now, these guys have the advantage to now copy these things.
So we need to, because you pissed me off with the Strike Force thing. We need to
what do you disrespect the Strike Force?
No, we need to redo our. I know we did a tag team list like impromptu, but we need to really redo the top 10 tag teams. And we need to do that like right after the Brock Lesnar John Cena thing, because you really pissed me off with that Strike Force comment. Like that's one of them things I'm gonna be at work tomorrow and I'm gonna be like, damn, I can't believe this guy said the Usos aren't better than Strike Force.
But they're not.
Individually, Strike Force was great, but Strike Force was like a jobber tag team. I mean, I mean, let's call it what it is.
They won the tag team titles.
Yeah, have you seen some of the tag champions?
I'm just saying, in the day that they won it, Demolition was around, Hart Foundation was around, the Bulldogs was
transitional champs.
Right. I'm just saying, they had a lot of solid tag teams in the WWF. Not as good as the NWA or the WCW, but they still had a solid foundation of tag teams. So, what do the Usos? The Usos today, there's no tag teams.
Yeah, I agree with that. The tag team division.
So you're the best with nothing. Like you're like a big fish in a nothing pond. And so how's that any justification? Like they're going up against actual like Hall of Fame tag teams. The Usos, who they're beating people that are like put together. There is no legacy there. So that you got to objectively look at all these things, like the quality of what's being done. And I think that's what you're missing. Like for what Strike Force is versus what the Usos is, they have the accolades because they have the title and the prestige, and they're in the now. The Strike Force is way back then. You don't have the same like nostalgia for them. And I was watching them back then. They were a really good tag team. They had nice fluid moves together. I was kind of upset when they broke up because I thought they were doing good, but I wasn't even trying to diss the Usos by saying that. But I use Strike Force because that's not a norm team, but an example of a team that's really good that just don't have those accolades. That's why I said that.
I'm gonna see how genuine you are. I'm gonna see how genuine. What's going on, Bones? I'm gonna see how genuine you are.
What's up?
Now. Where are the Usos better than the Killer Bees?
I'm not too familiar with the Killer Bees, to be honest.
No. I'm asking Venkat because he said the Strike. He said Strike Force is better than the Usos.
Strike Force had Tito Santana in it, right?
Yeah, it's Tito Santana and Rick Martel.
Rick Martel.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Wait.
Go ahead, Bones.
Well, I know I'm late, but I think Venkat, you said that the Charlotte Flair match was the best match of the weekend, right?
Yep.
It was better than I expected because I expected it to be a dud, but it was actually better than I expected. Charlotte Flair, she came through, but I wouldn't say it was the best match of the weekend. I think the Usos or the IC title match was better than that. But it was pretty good though. I'm not gonna hate on it. It was pretty good.
They went at it, man. They were
they did. Hey, that German suplex that Charlotte Flair took was nasty. Where she almost like hit her forehead or something like that. That was nasty.
Yep.
Hey, Venkat, I'm gonna try to catch because Bones he missed a lot. He missed 2 hours of the show, so just catch him up, get his picks and everything. And I got to make my run real quick. I'll be right back. All right.
Okay. All right. So, what did you think of the first match, John Cena against Theory?
My bad, I went out for a second. Repeat the question.
What did you think of the first matchup of the evening? Theory and John Cena.
I was happy Theory won, but I feel like it could have been a little bit longer. I think it was only like 11 minutes or 10 minutes or something like that.
Right.
I feel like it could have went a little bit longer. You know what I mean? But it accomplished what it needed to accomplish. So overall, I was happy with it.
Okay. And the what about the match with Seth Rollins and Logan Paul?
Yeah, that was a real good match. I kind of feel bad for Seth because he's been like a workhorse, and I feel like he deserves a title, but he ain't finna get one right now, or no time soon. Right. But Seth been putting in that work, man, and this rendition of Seth Rollins, I feel like is the best one. I did like the Messiah gimmick, but this gimmick right here, he killing it, and I feel like he probably the top baby face right now on the Raw roster.
Yeah,
and the way he have the fans eating out of the palm of his hands is
right.
It's a sight to see.
Yeah, he has to have that title again.
I agree.
Get that. What did you think of the 8-man tag with Ricochet and
Oh man, that was a good match. I feel like that could have went a little bit longer too.
Right. I want
If I
at
remember
least
right,
10 more minutes.
yeah, I think that match went 8 minutes, and I feel like that could have, gave us like another 5 or 10 minutes, like you said. So, but that was a pretty good match. I would like to see Montez Ford and Ricochet in like a good feud together.
Yeah, that'd be great. I would like to see Logan Paul in a triple threat with them.
Yeah. I think Logan Paul probably gonna face John Cena. That's gonna be like his next big match, I predict.
You think so?
I'm back.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, John Cena don't have time for nobody. I don't know how he's gonna make time for that guy.
And Logan Paul isn't under contract. Logan Paul isn't under contract.
Bro, they gonna resign him though. Trust me, they have to resign him.
They better.
Yeah.
Well, it's nothing certain with a Vince McMahon.
Yeah, that piece of crap. All right, so Bones, what we basically been doing, because I took like a ton of notes. I don't know what you've heard so far, but so I've been running through my notes, and then we'll just kind of, Vank had to give all his input. So I guess what would I be, the play-by-play guy, and Vank had to be the color guy? That's how that is.
I'm doing my Bobby Heenan right now.
So So now we get into night 2, and like I say, what did you give night 1? What was your ranking for night 1? We both gave him like 8.5s.
Yeah, I'm gonna say on the scale of 1 to 10, I give it an 8 or 8. I won't go no higher than 8.5, but I give it an 8.5.
All right, so still higher than we all said on the prediction show.
Yep.
All right, so here we are in the night 2. And we open the show with this whatever this was, and all I'm gonna say about this, I'm not even gonna. It was what it was. It was something for Brock to do against a guy that probably should have been in NXT. It was a waste. It was a waste of Brock, and then seeing what they did last night on Monday Night Raw.
It makes you wonder why we even did this.
I'm not even gonna go through my notes. I just put on here, Omos sucks. Like that's it.
Terrible. He's terrible.
His demeanor and how he goes about the ring, like, he could be so much better, because I think he can move. Like Elegante was just awkward and big. I think he doesn't have all those issues Elegante had. And he could be much more. He just needs an attitude change, and he needs somebody to tutelage him like day and night and help him see and open up his potential. Because I really feel like he could be the Shaka wrestling right now. He could do much more. The big guys usually move slowly and they're not as strong sometimes. And he has the ability to be a lot more than what he's given us. He just needs to be enlightened by a veteran to teach him how to do ring psychology, change his attitude. He's always just, I don't know what the hell, he's always yelling at people, and it's just annoying to me.
I'm gonna say this. I was at Wrestlemania, not last year, but year before, when it was in Tampa. And that was his debut match. And from that match till this weekend, he hasn't really improved much at all.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing. And I'm tired of him, to be honest. And I was very disappointed that they wasted their WrestleMania match against Omos. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could have saved that the last Bobby Lashley match they did, which ended in DQ. They could have saved that for WrestleMania and give us a clean finish for that one. You know what I mean? I would have rather see that.
That should have been the Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, I also want to address something too, man. I'm disappointed. Why they couldn't give Bobby Lashley just like a better segment than what they gave him? I guess we'll get to that when the time comes. But
I hope he got paid to come out there with that stupid trophy.
Hey,
that's
you might
as well trophy too. God.
You might as well talk about it, because I'm not reviewing the next match either. I'm not going on strike for the next match unless Vancat got something to say about it. I'm not even talking about it.
Yeah.
Which is the next match?
I mean,
This abomination right here. This was terrible. This was absolutely dog shit.
Ronda Rousey, man. Sheesh. I didn't see this match, but
sorry.
No, go ahead, Bones.
I heard that she was injured coming into the match, and during the match, it looked like Shayna Baszler, she messed up her leg or something because she was looking pretty bad, and she didn't have one shoe on, like one of her boots came off or something like that. So I don't know what happened.
How you lose your boots?
Well, I think she was injured. I think maybe they had to take it off or something because she was limping real bad. Like she could barely finish the match, and if you notice, they barely got any offense in too.
Wow.
Yeah,
they won.
Yeah, they won.
Yeah,
I'm not even talking. It again is not pivoting. Why not just have Raquel and Liv win? Like you got to you just got to. But guess what? So here's what I say. So Raquel and Liv didn't win, but they were the ones
on
Monday Night Raw.
That makes no sense, bro.
They were the ones on Monday Night Raw, fighting for the title.
So you basically have a tag match and have the winners don't even get a title shot, but the losers got a title shot before the winners did. That makes no sense.
Wow.
I'm telling you, man. Hey, boy, if I didn't think Vince was back, like I
was just going to say that, bro. Vince is back. Vince is back for real, man.
Wow. God damn.
Man, like if I didn't think Vince was back to undo all the good things that Triple H did, man, I miss. I don't. Y'all got anything else to say on this garbage? I mean, This was terrible. I agree. The whole Bobby Lashley coming out with the trophy again. Why not just have him be the one to come out and beat up the Miz?
Okay, I was gonna say because I would have rather seen Bobby Lashley turn the Miz up instead of Shane or Snoop Dogg. You know what I'm saying?
Why is Shane McMahon even coming out? I don't even get that one.
Because Vince is back.
And why is that family? This is bad. Why is that family blowing out quads like it's nobody's business?
Because look, if you notice, last year WrestleMania, Vince had to do his appearance and get a match in against Pat McAfee. This year, it's his son. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we might as well get to that because the next 4 matches are bangers. I want to get all this stupidness out of the way. But yeah, the Shane came out blown completely up, and I know it was a long ramp, but Shane was blown up. And did y'all see when he blew his quad? Like, what happened? I didn't see what happened.
Yeah,
I didn't see it either. I didn't know what happened.
But you know what's funny though? It's like when you hear them talk about it, it's like there's no concern for what happened to him. They just moved on. I mean, the guy's on the floor dying, and they're like, it's moved on from him. Like
they rolled him out of the ring.
Yeah.
But Venkat, you said something earlier because you were saying how come people are praising Snoop? They were praising Snoop for this spot because the referee was completely oblivious to what was going on, and Snoop literally just instinctually got into the ring and did what he did. That wasn't part of the show. Like he did what he did because he saw what was going on. So that's why people are praising him for like having that instinct. His hitting the ropes was terrible though. Like I mean,
oh Lord,
you would think, but did you see when he did the frog splash in AEW? How long it took him to get to the top rope? Like the guy's pencil thin. Yeah, I mean the guy is rail thin. He ain't gonna.
He can't hurt nobody.
Yeah, he ain't gonna put himself in no real harm's way.
Right.
So, anything else on Shane and his quads?
No.
All right, we got 4 just to go. Listen, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I wanna skip this match right here, and I want to get the women's title match out of the way because we I know it's coming off misogynistic right now, but it wasn't as good as the Charlotte and Rhea match. So let's talk about it. First of all, Bianca Belair, her entrance with the little girls. I mentioned it. I mentioned it on the preview show. Like her being champion matters because it's representation. Like when my daughter was watching this and she saw the little girls on the stage, she was like, "Daddy, I want to be up there too." And you know, because my daughter's a dancer, so it's like she sees this and she sees Bianca. She first thing she did when she heard Bianca's music, she went and grabbed her belt and started dancing around the family room with it and doing her little twirl. And it must be noted that the little girl looks like the youngest one of the dancers. Triple H said in the press conference that her mother died earlier in the show. Earlier that day, and the little girl was still adamant about coming and doing it because she wanted to be to be with Bianca. So that's wow, that's sad.
That's the right mindset right there.
Yeah,
that somebody so young
man
do that. Yeah, that's rest in peace there, man, because that's crazy that of all days, like this big event that you've been looking forward for months, if not a year, and then they're like, boom, just done.
So to me, I thought this match got good. I just don't think it ever got to that next level. I've been highly disappointed in Asuka's Killer Clown run because it's not the Kana that we expect, like the Killer. It's more like somebody playing like Kana, like a cosplay. So I expected her to be more vicious, and she wasn't. The whole mist thing is good to have the mist and everything, but at some point, if you're going to spit the mist, you got to hit it at some point. You can't. I mean, you can't be shooting it everywhere. You only got one shot with it, pal.
But Trevor, it's COVID. It's COVID out here.
Man, hey, then don't do it. Then don't do it. If you're going to do that type of spot, you got to hit it, man. It's
She was supposed to hit her with that miss, right?
I thought so. She was supposed to hit her with the miss.
That's what I thought too, but I wasn't sure. But overall, I feel like this match wasn't a bad match, but from these two, like these are two of I put both of these women in my top 5 of all time, so I expected this to be like a banger. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't really have much of a storyline going into it. The storyline was mostly Asuka laughing and misting. That's basically it. That was the storyline. So, but my question is, what's next for Bianca? Being that she done kept the belt and she done beat everybody already. What's next for her?
What's next? What? I would book. What's next? Yeah, you see St. Louis said in the chat because he's making sense. Bianca and Rhea need to wrestle for the title. What?
Yeah, but you can't do that right now because they both got a belt. So what they gonna do in the meantime?
Straight out of Compton.
Yeah, what the hell going on? You driving?
Yeah,
you running from the cops doing a wrestling show? Look at that commitment. But what's next for Bianca should be a heel turn. But
I agree, but I don't think they're gonna do it though.
If she turns heel, there's nobody on the roster that could beat her. That's why I keep saying, y'all hear me say it every week. Jade Cargill. I don't know what Jade Cargill's contract status is, but Jade Cargill is the person who I think is like the yin to her yang. Her they in body type they're so similar. Like Jade should just come in here and destroy her and break her back down.
You've been saying that for a while, and I've totally been disagreeing with you, but I'm starting to kind of lean towards your way because it ain't really nothing else for her to do.
Look at Bianca.
Yeah, AEW, they're not using Jade Cargill to their fullest potential. As much as I hate to say it, but she could be doing more over there.
And look at Bianca. My wife is in the chat, so I ain't gonna say nothing crazy. But look at Bianca. We posted the picture on Wrestling Wednesday one time. Look at her body. Look at her body type. Who else besides Charlotte and Rhea stand a chance against her sheer structure? They got her fighting. They got her fighting Alexa Bliss. Like, come on, man. I'm supposed to believe that.
I would have said Piper Niven, but she already done beat her a couple times, so you can't do that one.
Piper would have been a good thing if they didn't let her beat her. Yes.
Yeah.
Piper would have been good.
She already beat her like 3 times already.
So Bianca is in that place where Medusa was at, where she just didn't have an opponent.
Nobody to fight, nothing to see here. Wow. What I mean, and I'm trying to see who's in NXT. There's nobody in NXT that they could call up. What, Raquel Rodriguez? I don't want to, not Raquel Rodriguez. I don't want to see Raquel. What's the former NXT champion? What's the chick that's
you're talking about I can't think of her name. Lopez, her last name, I think. No.
But her, we talking about the same person. I don't remember her name, but yeah, her. Even if they bring her up, so what? Bianca.
Is it Roxanne Perez, right?
Roxanne Perez, that's her name. Roxanne Perez. Yeah, Bianca destroys. Like Bianca is.
Yeah, she's tiny. She's tiny.
Bianca is legit like a fight. Like that's what I'm saying. Bianca is miscast as a babyface, and it seems like she's a tremendous person. Like you see them on the outside, and they do all the red carpets and stuff. But her wrestling personality is more suited to be a heel. Like it's just. But in order to be a good heel, you got to have a babyface that could. That you want to see them beat, and she's. I mean, Charlotte would be Charlotte when they do the draft. Charlotte would be the only thing I could say because they're not going to let her and Rhea fight till next year. That's not happening.
Right.
The matchup would be Bianca and Rhea, but that's not happening until next year. You can't blow that right now. Even though on Monday Night Raw, both of them were in the ring together, but that was just like a foreshadowing of things to come. But that's not happening now. So you need to have opponents now.
So does Charlotte get a rematch from Rhea? Because the match is a classic.
I guess
you want to replicate it.
Yeah, WrestleMania Backlash. I guess.
I heard that she's taking time off on this true enough.
Another time? What she did? She just took a year off.
Didn't she used to get beat? She used to get beat by a husband, right?
Yeah, the Bram. What's his name? Like Bram.
Right. So she probably needs the time off because of mental.
No, but that was a couple. That was a couple of years ago though. That was before.
That doesn't go. That doesn't go away. So maybe that's the reason she needs these timeouts like that. Being on the road is hard. And if you're already mentally like unstable with a bad past of trauma and abuse, she probably needs to get out quicker than most that don't have that issue.
I just think they failed. I think they failed Asuka on the main roster though, like because we should have got NXT Asuka. And then I could just see NXT Asuka just beating up every. You know what? Vince won't do it now that Vince is back control. But I would have. You know what I would do? I would have Bianca. Damn, I've been talking for a long time. I would have Bianca feud with the final boss. That's who I would have her fight. Mako Satomura, and let Mako beat some sense into have Mako stretch her. Because Mako Satomura is the final boss. Like, that's you. That's who I would have her feud with. But with Vince back, it ain't happening because he's gonna be like Mako Satomura. Wasn't she on Nitro? He's not gonna do it. But that's who I would have her feud.
You know who else is real good too? Io Sky. She's pretty good too. They got to break her off damage control.
But again, do you think Io? Look at Io. I mean, I guess it'll be to where you have to suspend disbelief, and Io would have to outsmart Bianca because physically she's just not gonna do it. But Io is tremendous. I can't wait until they get rid of damage control.
She had a nice entrance too. I miss her entrance.
They need to turn Bayley back into the hugger.
I think they just need their. Bayley during the pandemic, she was a good heel then. I don't know. Like now, I don't know what it is. She ain't got it right now.
As long as they don't feud Bianca with Lita, we'll be all right.
No.
Because man,
I don't know, man. Vince is back, so it might do it.
But St. Louis makes a good point though, having her feud with Ronda. I never thought about but Ronda's so unmotivated now. But like a motivated Ronda versus Bianca would be money. That would be great.
They haven't wrestled already?
No, they haven't. No.
Why would
Never.
they not have that?
They've never touched.
Wow.
That would be
the thing I don't like. Like in wrestling, we've not had certain matches we should have had over the years and decades, and it's like, come on, of all the sports out there that you could have your matchup, wrestling is the place everybody should have wrestled, especially when they wrestle repeatedly over and over the same guys. Like every matchup should have been explored. We should have gotten Stone Cold against Hulk Hogan. That should have happened. It's just weird, man. Like, I can't believe that they never faced each other. That's so weird.
Never even, never in the Rumble. They never crossed paths in the Rumble, nothing. All right, so we actually spent longer on this match than I thought. All right, so here's to what I knew was going to be a banger. I just didn't know how much of a banger it was going to be. This was the third match on the card, but obviously we went out of order
to dump the trash.
The match for the IC title. You got your champion, who Venkat says has the worst body in wrestling, Gunther, versus Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. I'm gonna tell you, I would have bet everything that Sheamus was gonna win this match, but they swerved the hell out of me on this one. But my goodness, was this a banger? Like,
oh my.
So I just want the record to show that I'm the only one on the panel that got it right, and I picked Gunther to win that match. Just putting it out there in the ethos.
My good. So all right, before I get into my notes, what y'all thought about this one?
For me, this is when WrestleMania started. You know what I'm saying? Because you had the Brock match first, and then the women's match second. And I just kind of whatever, like it was good, but it wasn't that good. But this is when WrestleMania started for me.
Well, say night two though, because
for night two. But I thought Sheamus was going. I would have bet money Sheamus was going to win this match because the story going into it was the IC belt was the one belt he never had, which is crazy to think of. And the chops, the near falls, when Sheamus had Drew on the outside doing the 10 beats of the Balor, and then he had to pause. He hit him with like 30 of them. I'd never seen that before.
Yeah, he hit him with 30.
It was just intense. I mean, the ending was pretty good. The way going to a powerbomb, Sheamus went to Drew, and then powerbomb Drew.
Oh, you broke up, Bones.
Oh man.
Oh damn! I hate when you get stuck in mid sentence, man. All right, Venkat.
I would say this is an example of why the Intercontinental title, the U.S. title, TV title, or whatever undercard title is so important. Look at all these guys in this match. They're at the current moment, we have two of them being former world champions, and one hopefully will be a future world champion. And the thing with the two guys that held the title, they're not in contention right now. They're not even close to contention. One could say they may not even touch those titles ever again. But you still have them on the roster, and they still have to do something. This is why these titles, I don't understand the decision to undermine, devalue, and disrespect these titles. Because the title gave them something to wrestle, and not only did they wrestle for a prize, they also put in the effort. And even though they're not on the top of the card, even though they're not the first faces you see their determination in the ring. They give it their all, and they had the opportunity to showcase what they could do. the title, that Intercontinental title is just getting propped up with Gunther's run. He's like doing. I hope he breaks Honky Tonk Man's record because he needs to be recognized as the greatest Intercontinental champion, especially in this particular era where they totally just buried that Intercontinental title. For him to bring it back this way and make it mean so much, and look at how hard they wrestle for that title. You could say they're wrestling harder than the world for the world title. So I just give hats off to especially Sheamus. He's the elder statesman here. You know, a lot of wrestlers. If you go back to the '90s, when you see the wrestlers at the same age as Sheamus back then, and you look at what they were doing, they're probably off TV, or they're facing some jobber somewhere. They're not in a high profile match at a WrestleMania, turning heads and making people go, wow, that was really great. So that was great for Sheamus to be involved in something like this, and you got to give it up to everybody in the match. Performed well. It was a great match to see. I don't think it was the best match, but it was a great match to see.
Bones, whoa, because you got cut off mid sentence.
Sorry. I was just saying that the ending was pretty good to me too. The way Gunther powerbombed Sheamus onto Drew, and then powerbombed Drew, and even before he got in the ring, it was like maybe 5 minutes where Sheamus and Drew were just going at it, and I enjoyed that a lot. And like Venkat said, I love the way Gunther is adding prestige to the IC belt, because I would say for like the last decade probably it's been not meaningless, but it hasn't had the value that it used to have.
No, you're right. Meaningless.
You know, when Mr. Perfect had it and when Bret Hart had it, because when I started watching wrestling, you know, Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect, they had the belt, and he definitely gonna bring Honky Tonk record, and I feel like he should because he deserves it.
Yeah.
So let me address this real quick. So St. Louis is saying if anybody could beat Roman is Gunther. I would love to see that. They wouldn't let Gunther beat him though. Yeah, especially not with Vince back. They wouldn't let that happen. And Drew is on his last year his deal. He hasn't re-signed yet because the money, they're so far apart on the money. I don't think Vince is going to let Drew go anywhere. That's one thing I will give him credit. Vince is not going to let Drew go anywhere. So
he looked like he should be in AEW. To be honest, he have that.
Yeah, he does. He does have an AEW look. He looks like the Young Bucks. I echo. And the more that I think about it, to me, this match was better than the tag team match.
It is.
This match, because there's no secret. Everybody knows I love Gunther. I love Sheamus, and I wanted him to win this match so bad just for the fact that, you know, that's the one belt that he hadn't won. He's getting older, but they took it from us. And growing up, the IC title to me, I love the Wing Eagle belt, but the IC title to me was just like the belt that, like, everybody should strive to be the Intercontinental Champion at some point. Like, you had to be the Intercontinental Champion, and that's why, like, I just think I thought this match was great, but I took a lot of notes on this, so I got to get through my notes on this. Y'all not gonna let me type all this stuff up and not get through it. All right, so what was funny though? Drew came out wearing white. I don't think I've ever seen him come to the ring wearing white, so that was different. Like Randy Orton wearing white. Sheamus comes out next with the Brawling Brutes. Gunther gets his old entrance, which I loved, where Marcel Bartel speaks German and introduces him to the ring. I love that. Gunther's not wearing his customary black. He's wearing his navy blue, which I never seen him do that. Like, everybody just stepped it up just a little bit more for WrestleMania. So the three men face off, and Drew drop kicks Gunther out of the ring. So Sheamus and Drew square off and trade blows one with another. Gunther comes in and starts to, like, chop the shit out of both of them. Drew and Gunther had a great chop off, and the crowd was just getting riled up because they knew they were prepared for something. So Sheamus gets Gunther in the 10 beats while Drew chops. So yeah, this was great. So Sheamus has Gunther hitting him with the 10 beats while Drew is chopping them at the same time. Like I thought that was that added some real good drama to it. Sheamus gets Drew in the 10 beats for a 29 count, and the crowd started losing it. Then he couldn't hold him up for the 30 because Drew dropped. So Gunther hit Sheamus with a nasty clothesline. Like he took his head off with that. Drew belly to belly suplexes Sheamus into Gunther, who was laying in the corner. That was another great spot. Drew goes for the Claymore and Gunther ducks and hits Drew with a power bomb for a 2 count. Sheamus hits Gunther with a top rope white noise, then the Celtic cross for a 2.5 count. The crowd is going insane at this point. Drew breaks up the cloverleaf by Sheamus with a sleeper hold. That was another clever spot. Instead of doing what they normally do and hit you with the double axe handle, he put his ass in the sleeper while he had the cloverleaf on his opponent. So Sheamus hits a bro kick for a near fall as Gunther comes off the top rope. So Gunther comes off with a top rope splash to both of them. Gunther powerbomb. Yeah, so Gunther powerbombs Sheamus onto the back of Drew and then powerbombs Drew for the 1, 2, 3. So Drew took the pin, which I said that I thought Sheamus was going to win, but I thought Drew was in the match, so Gunther didn't have to take the pin. Drew ended up taking the pin. The match was phenomenal, man. Like they showed the picture at the end where they showed a picture on Twitter where Drew and Sheamus were laid out on the floor in the back of Gorilla. Like they just took the picture and they were just there, just beat the shit like they were, like they had just been in a war, man. That the match was, I agree. WrestleMania night 2 started for me after this. Like I was all in once, the first 2 matches were crap. But when this happened, like I was like, oh boy, business picked up, man, because this was awesome. Like I love when you elevate your secondary titles. Like, why do you have them for if you're not going to elevate them? It just makes no sense. Makes no sense. Mm-hmm. Especially when you got a champion that don't ever defend his belt. But we'll get there. So we got 2 more matches. 2 more matches before I blow a gasket, because I know y'all are waiting for it because you know it's coming. So this was match number 5 on the card, which I thought was really good. And that was the Hell in a Cell match with the Demon Finn Balor versus Brood Edge. What do you guys think about the entrances at first?
I haven't gotten to see this match yet.
Oh, okay.
But that's fine. I mean, I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. But I got to see like the Gunther match. I got to see the world title match, and I think 2 more matches before we went on air today. So, but this was one I didn't get to see, but I definitely want to see it.
So, Bones, what you got on this one?
First of all, I'm a person, I love entrances, and for Edge to come out with the Brood entrance, I loved it. Of course, it would have been better if you could have had Gangrel and Christian, but that wasn't going to happen because Christian with AEW. But the mask he had on was pretty good. The Finn Balor, the Demon entrance, that's always real good. I always pop for that. And the last time we seen the Demon, we shall not speak of. That's the Roman Reigns match, but neither here nor there.
Where he magically fell off the top rope.
Yeah, and he still to this day we never got an explanation for it. But anyway, I digress. So the match was real good. There was some real good spots in it. I like when Edge took the kendo sticks and trapped Balor inside in the cage. And for the most part, because I never seen that before. And you get so many Hell in a Cell matches. Sometimes they get kind of muddy and it just get kind of convoluted. But that was a good spot because I never seen it before. And also the kendo sticks were taped purple and red, which is pretty cool. When Balor stood on where the camera was positioned, which before he did that, I said to myself, I never seen that in the cell before. The way they had the camera and the little platform, and then I believe they put it there. But for Finn Balor, when he jumped off of it, that was pretty cool. He did the coup de grace through the table, and Edge moved, and Finn Balor ended up going through the table with the coup de grace. That was a pretty good spot. And for me, one of the best spots of the whole weekend, or not the best spot, but it was just a real gruesome spot, was when Edge took the ladder and hit Balor across the head with it. And I seen the pictures later, and Balor had a nasty gash. It was nasty, and
it was like a foot long.
When it, yeah. Like, I feel like they was about to start the match or whatever, but Balor wasn't gonna have that. But apparently they had to give him an injection, and they had to give him staples at ringside, and he continued the match obviously, and it was a real good match. And I feel like for Edge, that should be the end of the feud with Judgment Day, and he should move on to something else because his days are numbered. And I think that they got.
Oh man.
Yeah, he only got a lot of time left. So, but yeah, it was a real good match. I enjoyed it. I got no complaints about it at all.
So the first line on my notes for this match says, yes, the cell isn't red anymore. They finally got rid of that ugly ass red Hell in the Cell. Like, that's the first thing I noticed. And like Bones, you know, I won't go over it too much, but Bones, the Edge's entrance was dope, man, with that mask, that mirrored mask, and then he had the wings. He had like the bat wings. I really like that. So the one downside I had to the entrances is that it was still daylight outside. The demon entrance doesn't work if it's not dark in there, like, because you can't put the spotlight on him. But just let's get to the match. So I love the nuances of this match, because here go the thing with this match. They sold everything. And we always said, like, what's the difference with the demon? Like, what, he just puts on the body paint? So what? But he was getting, I mean, they were laying it in. Like Bones talks about that spot where Edge tied him up in the corner of the ropes with the kendo sticks. When I saw that, I'm like, whoa, how come nobody ever thought to do that before? Like that. It was like the little things that Edge was doing. Like, there was no wasted moment, because Edge is an older guy, man. And Edge was like, well, wait a minute. I'm in this match, and Edge matches are notoriously always long, so he wasn't going out there to waste any moments. But they were like selling everything, and you know, I'm not really a big fan of blood, but in this it made it better, because when he threw that ladder and it busted Balor open, this is what really made that work. Balor has black paint on the top of his head, so the blood that was on the mat was black, and you could see they were trying their hardest to shoot away from it, because it was a legit injury. And they were trying to throw up the X's, but Balor kept like grabbing their hand, not letting them, you know what I'm saying? He was telling them, no, you can't stop this, no matter, you know, this is a WrestleMania moment. He doesn't know how many more of these he's gonna have, but so they finally stapled him up. They got him good enough. And I thought it was going to kill the crowd at that moment, but it didn't. It didn't take away from it. I think it added to it. The brutality. And like I said, they were like selling everything. And what I like too is that, so you got the demon who's selling everything, like he doesn't feel pain. And then you got Brood Edge, selling everything. So it wasn't like, oh, Edge is going to fight from behind. Whatever Balor hit him with, he came back and hit Balor with. And it was awesome, man. When Balor went for that coup de grace and he looked up to the top, I'm like, man, this guy ain't going to the top rope, to the top of the cage to do this. But I didn't even realize the platform in the links. He went up there and we're like, oh my goodness, man, he did the damn coup de grace from the top. But you know, Edge move. Edge he can't take a move like that. But Edge the finish of the match came when like Edge was just killing Balor with chair shots, and then to put the nail in the coffin, he concertoed him, and that was it. 1, 2, 3, and my last line on my notes said, "Best Hell in a Cell match I've seen since the New Day versus the Usos." Like that Hell in a Cell match was awesome, man. Like
What about the Cody Hell in a Cell last year?
I forgot about that, but the Cody one was kind of to me, it was kind of uncomfortable. It was uncomfortably good, just because you didn't know. The whole time I thought the injury wasn't real, because I'm like, why the hell would they let this guy wrestle like that? That's what I'm thinking. Like, why would they let him wrestle like that? Like, that can't be real. But yeah, that one was I forgot about that one, but that one was really good. But this Hell in a Cell was awesome, man. It was what it needed to be. And you could tell it had some time cut off of it, but you know what? That made it better. In a Hell in a Cell match, you don't need it to go 20, 30, 40 minutes. You don't need that. You're in a Hell in a Cell. You're supposed to be beating the hell out of each other. A match like that shouldn't last more than, 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah, it's like, hey, go in, take your ass home, and you're good to go. So yeah, Venkat, I know you're gonna watch it later, but
once again, I just want to let the record show that on the prediction show, I did say that this would be Edge win, and that this match overall would be one of the better matches, if not the best match. So just putting it out in the ethos.
I think we all picked Edge on this, though, right? Yeah, I didn't see no way for Balor to win, even with the demon.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, we come to the last match. And we got two ways to do this. So you want me to run through my notes and then we talk about it? Or you want me to talk? Yeah, I probably should run through my notes first.
Yep.
Wow. All right, let me speed through this. So in the final match of WrestleMania, we got the match for the WWE Undisputed Universal title. And for the record, so everybody knows, I'm a huge Roman Reigns fan. I just think he doesn't need to have the belts to be as great as he is. He's bigger to me. And I'm not going to say he's bigger than the belts. I'm not going to say that. But I just think the belts should have never been unified, because now you got one guy holding two titles that he's obviously not going to lose for another year. So,
but he has to have both belts to prop him up even higher. I think that's a part of the legitimizing him, as far as the strength of this run. By him having those two titles, that helps to prop him up a little higher.
The lineage, though, the 1,000 days is tied to the Universal title, though. It's not tied to the WWE title.
Right, and it's unfortunate.
They need to start saying that, though. You can't. Yeah. Okay, St. Louis. The Hall of Famers came out. Yeah, it was cool. The Hall of Famers did come out. I did forget about that part, but which I thought the Hall of Fame was pretty good. I mean, I like when they keep it short like that. I thought it was really good.
Muda's Hall of Fame, it was super fast, but it was great. That miss at the end.
Yeah, when he blew that miss at the end, I'm like, all right, there you go. Let's get right to the point. But the lineage is tied. His title reign is tied to the Universal title, not the WWE title. So if they're going to try to catch up with the WWE title, that mean he'll never lose that belt. Like that. That's why it's the guy got me all flustered and everything. Now it's all.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that they're naming off Hulk Hogan, Bob Backlund.
Exactly. That's tied to the WWE title, not that Universal
title.
Yeah,
that's why he should have lost
when they do that.
You see what I mean? Everybody agreeing with me, but not agreeing with me. I mean, I hope you guys okay. I hope you guys love what we got now, because Now you got a Vince McMahon led WWE with your only babyface that was hot enough. Now he's been Lex Luger, but we'll get to it. So Cody Rhodes comes out with the entrance, and I mean, anybody says that this wasn't a big fight field, I mean, you literally just hate. Cody comes out, and what I love is Brody Lee's son is at ringside.
I was shocked. I didn't think they would do that.
And he gives him the belt. And I'm just like, man, bro, I'm like, I should have known then that, WWE, they're good with this. Like, they'll give you all the feel good moments, and then they'll just, they'll set you up for failure. He goes out, he kisses his wife, he gets a little girl, right? Yeah, he gets his daughter who has the noise headphones on. His mom is at ringside. I want to say his sister was at ringside. Oh, man, everything in the world set up for a celebration. So now the first thing I said when Mania came on and I saw that ramp, I'm like, man, Roman Reigns is going to take like 20 minutes to get to this ring. And it took him about 6 minutes. We timed it. It took about 6 minutes to get to the ring. So his entrance it wasn't an over the top entrance, but I loved it. It was like final boss type thing where they had six organ players on the stage just playing a medley. And then he came out with Solo and Paul Heyman and took that 6 minute walk because this guy's going to milk every friggin' second. So the crowd was going crazy before they even touched. Like, again, whoever says that this match didn't have any heat in it, you literally just trying to be contrarian. So I love the psychology of the match at first because Roman doesn't seem to be taking Cody serious at all. Like the whole time he's just looking at him. He's like, this guy, basically just demeaning the hell out of him. So Roman hits Cody with a vicious elbow. So now it's time to grind the match to a screeching halt. Now we're going to do a Roman Reigns style match. Cody goes for a disaster kick, but Roman catches him with a power bomb. Roman is like literally toying with Cody as he dumps him over the rope. So the fight spills to the ramp, and Cody and Roman is just having his way. So he slams him on the ramp, but you hear like loud Cody chants. Solo gets involved by hitting Cody in the ribs with a chair, and Roman hits the drive-bys. At this point, they basically just beating Cody up, but it's for the babyface comeback. I mean, it's how they do the matches. They've been doing them forever. So Roman has Cody in a cravat, but Cody fights back, hits the ropes, and again Solo interferes by grabbing the legs. Roman tosses Cody outside again and starts to clear the announce table. Roman goes for a pile driver on the table. This was a bump that I didn't expect Roman to take because normally it's the face that takes this. But Cody reversed the pile driver, and it was Roman that went through the tables, the table spot, which the crowd came alive on that. So at this point, like Michael Cole is just going crazy on commentary. Michael Cole did a tremendous job calling this show. We'll never hear him that good again because now Vince is back in his ear and he's going to be telling him to say stupid stuff. So Cody hits Roman with a Cody cutter for a near fall. Cody stomps Roman. What I loved about this match too is that they weren't going for pinfall. It wasn't 100 different false finishes. So Roman tosses Cody out of the ring and hits a drive. Tosses Cody out of the ring and hits a dive to Roman. So they started a dive. Solo hit this. I love this. Solo hits Cody on the back with the weight belt that he went and grabbed from Brody's son. They didn't show it at the time, but that's what happened. So he hits him with the belt and drops the belt. And normally the referees are stupid and they don't think that anything happened when you see the guy that obviously was standing up a minute ago. Now he's not when you got another guy. So he was like, no, I heard it. He ejected Solo from ringside. So Roman goes to use Cody's weight belt, and Cody hits a crossroads for a 2.9 count. Like at this point, man, the fans are just going crazy. Cody is really selling the ribs, though. Gonna get back to those ribs. Roman hits him with a hellacious rock bottom. They called it a rock bottom, but you hear him with a Uranage. Cody struggled. Cody struggles to get up as Roman goes for the Superman punch. Cody sidesteps and hits the pedigree for another super near fall. They kicked out of the pedigree too much tonight during WrestleMania. You had it in the Seth match, you had it in this match. Cody hits the ropes and goes for another disaster kick, but gets caught with a Superman punch midair. That was great, because Cody was going for that kick and Roman leaped up and knocked him out of the air. Roman gets a near fall. Paul Heyman at this point is with them facial expressions just going crazy. Roman is in the corner, sitting down in the corner, crouched down, doubting himself as the crowd chants, "This is awesome." Roman goes for a spear. Roman goes for a spear, and Cody counters it into a figure four. I don't know what the hell Michael Cole was talking about how many times his dad won with this move. His dad never won any titles with that move. So you could hear Cody at the point, like telling himself, like, "I'm fight through the pain," as they do the yay boo spots, the trading punches. Cody goes to the top rope. Roman ducks and hits him with a spear for 2.8. The crowd is again going crazy. Roman is pissed and starts raining forearms down on Cody's head. Rain signals is over and then hits a guillotine. Cody does his best Hulk Hogan impersonation as he fights his way out of the hole. Then Cody all of a sudden starts forearming the shit out of Roman. Then here's where the bullcrap starts. Cody accidentally bumps the ref and both men are down. Cody goes for the crossroads and gets super. Then the Usos came out. So Cody goes for the crossroads and gets super kicked, and then they hit him with the 1D. Sammy and KO return the fight off the Usos. Here's what I didn't like. KO hits Roman with a stunner. Sammy hits Roman with a haluva kick. Cody does a slow crawl. Ref comes back in, but it's only a 2 count. So they basically bastardizing the hell out of the stunner. So they got the crowd just hook, line, and sinker. Both men trade blows again. They go back to the Yabu spot. This is the part that I hated. Cody goes one crossroads, boom, hits him with a crossroads, doesn't let go, hits him with another crossroads, doesn't let go. At this point, my wife is standing there looking at me like, Cody's going to do it. Cody's going to do it. And I'm standing up with my belt in my hand looking like a moron. Cody's going to do it. All you got to do is hit him one more time. He goes for the final crossroad. Friggin' Solo Sequoia in the corner. Boom, hit him with the spikes. Roman Reigns spears him. 1, 2, 3. Good night, Lex Luger. Thanks for coming. And this is what we get.
Show the other one where you see Roman in the background.
I mean, like, I can't. I can't.
That's classic right there. Roman in the background with the 2 titles. That's.
Let me plug my computer in because it's about to die. Hold on.
That's a good picture.
Wow, that is that picture pretty much encapsulated the feelings of Cody Rhodes, the fans,
and the WWE universe. Yeah.
The whole exactly. The whole WWE universe. That picture is the perfect picture to let you know how the feelings of everybody went down that night.
They Lex Lugered him.
What's that?
They Lex Lugered him. That's Cody Luger from now on.
Cody Luger.
They legit ruined their
with the fact that this Lex Luger thing is probably very accurate because think about it, so his original run at WWE, he couldn't even smell anything near the title. Then he goes to AEW, help build that company up. I don't even think he got a title shot. If he did get a title shot, he lost.
He got one title shot, lost, and that's it.
Exactly. And now you come back to WWE and then your first big match. So this is Lex Luger's trajectory. This is the exact same path Lex Luger had, where Lex Luger was in WCW and he was getting these title shots against Flair, many title shots. not just on pay-per-views, but also just on house shows and stuff. And he just lost every time. Now, finally, in 1991, Lex Luger is supposed to win that title at the Great American Bash. Ric Flair got the hell out of Dodge, left with the belt, go to WWF. So Luger could never catch a break. Even when he won it at the Great American Bash against Barry Windham, everyone disregards that win. Not only did they not have an actual belt, it looked like they got an old TV title and they put a piece of metal over the TV title part that says TV title on it. And it's just an embarrassment, So nobody really recognized that win. And then he goes to WWF for greener pastures, and he's supposed to be champion again, and boom, did not happen. So, but the story to Lex Luger is obviously after many years, I think it was almost 11 years, he finally won the title. So I don't think Cody's gonna have to wait 11 years, but I do feel like when Luger won that title in '97, that's like that pop that he got, and there's really no reason for him to get that kind of reaction from the fans, judging by the past and the things that he's gone through. But for whatever reason, people gravitated. I guess it's a combination of the hate of Hogan, but then also there's some people that like Lex Luger. So Cody, when he wins it, when he gets to that point, it's going to be so much bigger than whatever this would have been.
I don't think so.
That's what, huh?
No way.
It is. I'm telling you, when he goes through this, whatever he has to go through Brock, he has to go through all this stuff, he has to go through all this turmoil, all this trials and tribulations. I think that's going to really cement that win, and it's going to be better than what it would have been right now. I feel that.
Yeah, to piggyback off what Venkat said, that's what I was going to say. Basically, the last show we did, I was saying that, or the previous show, I was saying that we haven't suffered with Cody. Now we suffering with him right now. You know what I mean? This picture, we suffering with Cody now. So now, if he do get the belt at SummerSlam or whenever he do get it, it'll be more legitimized, and he went through a tough road because he went through Brock Lesnar. Yeah, exactly. He went through Brock Lesnar, and he went through trials and tribulations and getting his heart broken in front of his daughter and his wife and his mom and little Brody and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, think about all the people that were just like Trevor, that literally came damn near lips quivering, lips trembling, tears running down. Think about all those people that went through that. That's a genuine moment that wrestling can evoke from the audience. And for those people, they're invested. So you come down the line and he gets to win that title, that's going to be so much bigger than anything. Now, I'm telling you, man, I think it'll be well worth it. I said the whole time, I felt like it's too soon. It's not the right time. It's all these things. But I feel like he will win it, and I think it's going to be great.
Hey, I want to shout out Solo Sikoa, man. From the time that they walked through the curtain, he had his game face on. And if you notice, when they were in the ring introducing Roman and Cody, Solo did not take his eyes off of Cody at all. He was staring a hole through him. Even after he got out of the ring and the match started, he was still staring at Cody. Like, he did not stop staring at Cody from the time that they walked through the curtain. And and then he interfered 3 times, and the third time was when he got caught and got sent to the back. And I like the fact that I wish they would have showed it on camera when he took the belt from Lil Brody. That would have been, that's straight heel heat right there. Because I was wondering where he got the belt from. I didn't realize until you told me.
Yeah, he took Brody's belt. Did you hear the beginning of yesterday's show where Leia basically booked?
Yeah. Yeah. She was saying when she hate Roman and how he can't win a match by himself and everything.
it's getting to that point. And again, Roman Reigns is my favorite wrestler. Like whenever I look at my picture, I'm holding the belts like Roman Reigns holds his belts. Like Roman Reigns is my favorite, but I think I'm looking at it more for the story. You see, I'm all about the story. There's nobody coming down the pipeline that they have that would have been a hotter babyface than what they just ruined Sunday night. And that's where this is going to be that thing that 10 years from now, we're going to be sitting here. We're going to be like, damn, they should have pulled the trigger. Like, I mean, ain't nobody crying for Cody. Cody gets Cody got his money. Cody's a international superstar. I'm just saying in the confines of the story, like, how many more times do you want to make us wait? I mean, Roman choked out Daniel Bryan. He stacked Daniel Bryan on top of Edge to pin him. Roman beat Goldberg. Roman beat Brock 3 times. Roman beat everybody. Roman beat Big E. Roman beat everybody. Like, at what point, Venkat, I've heard you say this so many times, you can't keep Goldberg undefeated. It just ends up being stale. So the fact that you now are like, oh yeah, let's just pin Cody, and then not to mention, okay, if you're gonna beat Cody, then don't do him like you did yesterday. I saw that coming from a mile away. Brock Lesnar might as well pissed on him last night. He treated. I couldn't have felt like Cody was even more a bigger piece of shit than after how Brock left him laying last night. And he's not going to beat Brock in the first match. He's not going to beat Brock. He's not. And you know that.
That'll add to more of the struggle. I mean, that has to account for something. You know, I think that's great. That's what we need. We need nuance. We need intrigue. We need stakes. And the problem is we just don't have that in wrestling. It's just always a run right through it. It's the Austin era, and that means that he's going to win all these matches in a row. And it's not like there's no stakes there. I hate the Hogan runs.
I will say this: I do agree with you, Trevor. That Brock thing last night, I don't understand that, and I could have dealt without that. It was. I don't get that at all.
Did you see that picture that I put on Facebook, Trevor, where it shows John Cena, the same thing?
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up. So they were saying how Brock, John Cena lost to a Samoan, and Brock came out and destroyed him the next night. And now Cody lost to a Samoan, and Brock was the same person. That's crazy, man. Yeah, St. Louis, you right, man. Like, hey, St. Louis, man, to hell with all that. You gotta come on the panel next time because you like up there with us with all this wrestling talk. So you need to come on the panel next show we do. Obviously we're not going to do a show tomorrow. But just so everybody knows, because it's Wrestling with Reality is on Wednesday. When we decided to make the move over here, Venkat is tired because he obviously been doing all this executive producing and stuff like that. So he was planning on taking a little break. So we're not going to do the show tomorrow. I have the Brock Lesnar and John Cena watch along scheduled for next week, but we can't do it next week because I have a debate coming up on the 15th. So you guys know before my debates, I always got to take like a week off where I just don't do anything so I can prepare for my debate. On SVDL Solar Vision Debate League, I will be debating Madan Komet April 15th at 7 p.m. So I'll get with Venkat as to when our next show is going to be, because the guy, y'all saw the work he was putting in over at the arena, so the guy needs a break. I mean, like, he sent me, listen, just let y'all know behind the scenes, so he sends me all these videos, he sends me all these pictures and stuff, and I'm sitting there just pulling out the hair that I don't have Because I'm like, man, like this is annoying, man. Like this not working for me. This not doing this not that. And I'm just thinking of all the videos and stuff he would do over there. I'm like, damn, man, this, it's frustrating. The guy does a lot, man. So we're gonna take about a week off. Obviously, we're not doing nothing tomorrow because we just went back to back 3-hour plus shows. And then my wife they already scheduling another show, man. They ready to rock and roll, man. The Straight Talk Society is we got our thing. Now, St. Louis, I don't debate on Tony Harvey, man. I don't do biblical debates. I will do a biblical debate, but I debate on Solar Vision Debate League. We debate anything over there. But we got so many different things lined up. We got our UFC shows and everything like that.
Still got to do the NBA because the playoffs coming up.
The playoffs are coming up, so we got to structure. Yeah, once I get this debate out of the way, is April 15th. Once I get that done, then we could come up and be like, all right, we're gonna do this.
And did you see Patrick Beverly got played by LeBron? That's so funny.
Yeah.
No, what happened?
Beverly. Well, okay, so in one of the games last week, the Lakers played against Patrick Beverly's team, and he scored on LeBron or something, and then he put like his hand down, like to say that they're little. The Lakers and LeBron are small, so he's like putting his hand down to the ground. So then they had another game a few days later, and the Lakers just beat their ass. And then LeBron did the same thing back to them. That was so fitting. So fitting. Patrick Beverly is one of those, he's like the ultimate heel in the NBA. If you would. I mean, he is always provoking. He's always egging something on. He's always trying to patronize somebody. So, yeah, he got his from LeBron. That was so funny. I was so happy that happened.
Yeah, we definitely got to do. We definitely gonna do the NBA show.
And one more thing. Why the hell are the Usos doing the Dudleys move?
And call it
as a homage, I guess.
Yeah. Do they pay an homage to the Dudleys?
AKA steal my move?
No. Everybody does a figure four.
But at the same time, they've been wrestling for so long. They got to evolve, and they can't do the splash forever. You want to see them do something else.
I remember, and it's funny because me and my wife talk about it because we go to wrestling shows when they come down here. I remember a time when the Usos were still wearing like the colorful pants and painted one side of their face, and they would be doing the dance, and they'd be like, when I say ooh, you say oh, and nobody would say anything. So they come a long way, man. I just think so. Okay, we over the 3 hour mark. This is crazy. What's you guys grade for night two? Because we'll always differ on the Cody thing. And yes, I did. I'm not gonna lie. My eyes were welling up because I just felt like they took me on this journey and they let me down. I likened it to, and you know how serious I am when I say this. I liken that Cody Rhodes loss to when the Dolphins just lost a playoff game against Buffalo. It hurt me that bad. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It was that bad. It might have been worse. It might have been worse because the Dolphins were playing with a third string quarterback, so we were playing with house money. So it might have been worse.
Well, that means that Triple H and them are doing the right thing to make people feel that way, to make people feel that strongly about the product that they're producing. That's the right thing. That's the right thing, man. It reminded me of when Sting got jumped by the Horseman. It's the right move.
All the little stingers crying. Yeah, I was a little stinger. So what was you guys grade on night two? I give night two like I
give it a C.
As far as 1 to 10.
Yeah, if I'm gonna give it a 1 to 10, I give night two. I gotta give night one a 9. The more that I think about it, I give night two an 8.
That's way too close.
Yeah,
that's inconsistent.
No, I give night one an 8. Because to me, the main event was everything, with the exception of the last 10 seconds. That main event was, I'm telling you, the way I watch wrestling is something totally different, man. That main event was everything. That main event, I'll go back and watch that matches, like 10 times.
But doesn't the bad matches earlier in the event bring the event down, and then the main event brings it up, but it's not going to be as up if it had a decent match in the place of those bad ones?
The bad matches weren't that offensive. And no, so they weren't that long. So it was like one of those things like, oh, I could have been grilling some burgers or something. And I wouldn't have came back in here and it would have still been on.
But okay, so essentially the best thing out of the night would have been the Gunther match, the Cody match, and then the rest of it is just meh.
No, right? everything wasn't meh. The Hell in the Cell wasn't meh.
Oh no, yeah, I'm sorry.
Hell in the Cell was good.
And remember that night only has 6 matches on it. And
so that's a 50%.
And I thought the Bianca match, Asuka was good. I just didn't think it never got to the point of Charlotte Rhea, which it wasn't going to.
Right. So it would be slightly over 50%. That's about a 6.5.
Nah, not on my grading scale. No.
I haven't seen it. I saw about 3 to 4 of those matches. But I didn't see the whole thing.
That IC triple threat could carry any pay-per-view on its own. If you were to tell me that IC triple threat match was the main event on any show not named WrestleMania, no problem. No problem.
Mm-hmm.
It was that great.
It's a strong 2 nights. I mean, the 2-night thing is working out. It's working out really nice. It's not bad because it gives. Because I think if this WrestleMania was the one night, it would probably be a disaster. I don't think that certain matches would have the time to fully be fleshed out to be as great as it needs to be. I think we would have seen some magical 2-minute matches just to get things over with. So yeah, the two night thing is really paying out, and they get more revenue.
Yeah, you can't make your crowd commit to 8 hours, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And traffic.
What's your rating, Bones?
I gave it a 7.
Oh, 7. Okay. Yeah, that sounds more realistic.
Yeah, 7. And I'm also a side note. Raw after WrestleMania is supposed to be hyped up and be this big deal. But every year I've been getting disappointed lately, and last night wasn't an exception. I mean, besides Matt Riddle coming back, there was nothing to talk about. Matt Riddle and Brock destroying Cody.
Last night was the worst Raw after Mania I've ever watched, and I've watched all.
And you seen Triple H started out giving that speech too.
I gotta go back. What he said? I gotta go back and listen to what he said because I was streaming, so I couldn't have the volume up. I gotta go back and listen to what he said.
He basically just said that, it's a lot of talk of a big announcement earlier today, but I promise you everything is still going to be the same, and WWE isn't going anywhere, and the universe isn't going anywhere, blah, 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 basically.
We know that. His ass going somewhere. We know that. We know that. Man. Well, fellas, Venkat, what do you give it? You said you agree. You give it about a 7.
Yeah, but again, I didn't see the full thing. I didn't see Finn Balor, but I figured that's got to be great, like you guys say.
Yeah, that match.
And then good. Most of what I miss is probably the trash match. I didn't see the Brock Lesnar match. I didn't see the women's match. So I mean I would from what I've seen enough to understand that it's got to be like a 7 or something like that. 7.6.
All right, well, y'all guys got any parting words? I know I already got all my plugs out for upcoming shows.
Yeah, my parting words is I miss Bray Wyatt, man. The good Bray Wyatt too, and I think because Vince back, that's why Bray Wyatt fell off in the whole
straight AEW. You going straight AEW?
Yeah, I was about to say we ain't gonna see Bray Wyatt around much longer.
And I suspect that they said that he was injured, but I feel like it's something more to it though. I feel like it's some kind of creative differences going on, or he got unhappy or something, or something going on.
I don't know why it would be creative differences though when he's the one who basically came up with everything he's doing though.
Yeah, but Vince probably might be putting a hamper on some stuff. You never know. Because when he came back, it was pure Triple H. Vince wasn't there yet.
Yeah, we'll have to see, man. I'm not looking. I mean, for me to go into WrestleMania season so hyped as I was, and for WrestleMania to put on such a great show, coming out of it, you would think I'd be so hyped up for what's to come. I'm not looking forward to what's coming up in the future with as long as Vince is in charge. I'm just not.
I'm looking forward to that backlash in Puerto Rico. Oh, that right there. I'm really excited to see that.
Bad Bunny and Mysterio versus Dominic and Damian Priest so far.
Are they mainly the fact that they just won't be in Puerto Rico? I want to see how the venue looks. I want to see how the crowd sounds and acts. I'm really interested to see that. I'm like, I've never seen a pay-per-view that's in Puerto Rico before.
The first
I'm
money
sure it happened. I think
the first Money in the Bank cash in.
Who?
The first Money in the Bank cash in.
New Year's Revolution.
Yeah, New Year's Revolution.
Yeah, I would never watch that.
Yep.
Well, shout out to Nene and to reply to what she said earlier. Yeah, that family is blowing out quads, and that must run in the family.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That you could duplicate the injury that your dad had. Like that's. I gotta ask my dad if he had any injuries that I don't know about. make sure I'm not getting messed up. Well, fellas, it's 11:30 now, and I went to bed after midnight last night. I got to try to start back getting to bed earlier. Man, this streaming stuff will keep you up for forever, man. I be doing these long shows, but I had a lot of fun, man. I think we covered WrestleMania from top to bottom as good as anybody has or is going to do in the future. So, if you want WrestleMania talk, just come watch these videos. That's the best you're going to get. So yeah, and we Bones, this Saturday morning we got the UFC pre-show.
Yep,
I gotta double check with your brother to see what time it is. I don't remember.
I think it's 10.
We're supposed to have a Straight Talk Sessions this Friday night. Dr. Mia and Michael will be on, and we're going to be discussing a polarizing topic entitled "She Can't Wear That." Yep, me and Michael are going there. And the good doctor is gonna go crazy on us, but it will be interesting. That's at 10:15 after SmackDown. I mean, hell, at this point, if SmackDown isn't good, I'm turning it off and I'm gonna fire up the stream earlier. So it's tentatively set for 10:15, but depending on how SmackDown is, it may change. So yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got, fellas.
All right.
All right.
So,
peace.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys for coming on.
All right.
All right, no
cool.
problem.
Peace.
Peace.
Well, there you have it. Like I said, man, we discussed everything top to bottom from WrestleMania. We did the Raw watch along yesterday, which the Raw show was so terrible. We ended up talking about gun control in Florida. So peace to everybody that was watching. I it was a long stream, so everybody couldn't stay on, but I appreciate those that did come by and stop in. Big props to St. Louis, man, for finally coming over here, man. Like I say, me and my brother are going to be building in the future. Just about other stuff, man. He's like a street preacher and stuff like that. And you guys know I was a preacher for 25 years. So, we have great conversation about that. I always love talking about biblical stuff. But we're going to talk about other stuff, and in addition to that. But I'm just glad that he came over. He took a visit to the society. Everybody's welcome over here. Like I always say, just don't bring your drama from any other channel, and you cool. If you want to hit the panel, you can hit the panel. It's all good. But I'm starting to lose my voice. I got to get up early in the morning, head to work. So peace to everybody that's watching over on Facebook at the Straight Talk Society. Please make sure and like that page over on Facebook, the Straight Talk Society. Straight Talk with Trevor over on YouTube. Excuse me. Also, if you need to get in contact with me, you can get in contact with me via email at straighttalkwithtrevor@gmail.com. Or if you go to Straight Talk Society, the Straight Talk Society on Facebook, just send me a messenger. Send me a instant messenger. You could also find me at that same name on Instagram, Straight Talk Society. You can send me an IG message. I'm supposed to be hooking up with some brothers that do a wrestling show on YouTube also. I sent them my contact info, so maybe we'll do like some cross promotion or something, like cross streaming or something like that. But the sky's the limit, man. So peace to everybody that watched. This WrestleMania season was good. I can't, even though I wasn't a fan of the final outcome, WrestleMania season was really good. I can't complain about that. So you guys know, in closing, I always leave you with these words. Always seek out the truth for yourself, because if not, you'll fall victim to other people's interpretations of them. And with that, I say peace.
But it's a must, you gon' respect this. Plus you're nuts with touch and dust, you tryna check this. You ain't insane, I write your name down on my checklist. You think I'm playing, I leave you laying, I leave you breathless. I'm not a heathen, please believe I'm breathing for a reason. Until I'm bleeding, really feeling this world is so misleading. Sacrifice your life at night while facing certain sorrow. Your existence is at stake, you might not make tomorrow. Lost my heart when I was crossed, don't wanna make amends. Much too smart, my afterthought, don't wanna make no friends. If you're a fraud, then it's so hard to get a second chance. You could die in front of my eyes, don't get a second glance. As human beings, instead of being so many try to be. You ain't seen what I have seen in my society. So F the killers, F the dealers, F the police. Middle finger in the sky till I die, no peace. Middle finger to the world, every man, every woman, every boy, every girl.
Always seek out the truth for yourself.